Since ancient times, humanity on Blue Star has always faced a type of natural disaster known as mystic realm invasions. Mystic realms connect to another world, teeming with terrifying demonic beasts. They exploit cracks in the mystic realms to invade the human world. Powerful demonic beasts are capable of destroying dozens of nations, threatening the entirety of human civilization. To combat these demonic beasts, humanity developed a demonic beast gene system, injecting demonic beast genes to awaken monster templates and unlock gene talents. Only such martial artists can save the entire human civilization. This has also led to martial artists enjoying significantly higher status and treatment than ordinary people. The entire Blue Star has entered an era where martial arts are paramount, and everything else is considered inferior. World introduction complete. Transmigrated host Lu Sheng. Identity reserve martial artist student. Below are the memories of the original owner. Lu Sheng clutched his head, muttering, Lu Sheng, a repeater student. Suddenly, someone laughed, turned back to look at him, and sneered, Look, that trash Lu Sheng is daydreaming again. Ha ha. This kind of trash still wants to take the university entrance exam. A pretty girl dressed in revealing clothes poked her finger and said, You should hurry home, you useless thing. Go be a worker at the bottom of society or just hide at home until you die. Lu Sheng looked at her scornfully, angrily, thinking to himself, Indeed, in every bullied protagonist's story, there's always a bratty girl. Lu Sheng rubbed his chin, thinking, It seems the original owner's reputation in class wasn't very good. His parents had an accident in 11th grade which made the original owner lose all motivation to train and study. As a result, his once decent grades plummeted, making him a thorn in the class's side. So that's how it is. That girl, seeing him staring intently at her, angrily shouted, What are you looking at? This is a martial arts class. Want to fight? Lu Sheng's face darkened. What am I looking at? I was just thinking. The original owner didn't study well, but I'm the unlucky one now. Sigh, so this is the kind of anxiety being despised by others that ultimately led to his demise. Up front, the teacher spoke, Students, are you ready? It's almost time for the gene enhancement injection. Everyone be confident in yourselves. 3 years of effort to improve your physique and cultivate martial chi techniques were all for today. He then pushed up his glasses and said sardonically, And as for those who never took this seriously. Seeing the teacher glance sideways at him, Lu Sheng smiled confidently and thought, Are you kidding? It wasn't me who didn't study well. What's there to be ashamed of? Then he gave a dark smile. But since I've taken over the original owner's place, I'll have to clean up a bit for him. Scene change on Cheng number 1. Middle school gene injection room. Everyone looked at each other discussing, What kind of monster do you think I'll awaken? Maybe a tier 3, raging mountain leopard, or a tier 4, sea-rending dragon. I bet it's just a tier 1, TD beast. Ha ha. Just then, a machine containing gene tubes appeared. Inside were awakening genes. This was the gene awakening potion containing the primordial genes of all demonic beasts, collected by human martial artists. After injection, the body will absorb one of them to awaken. Generally, the stronger the physique, the stronger the awakened demonic beast gene. Students, don't worry. After injecting the gene potion, calmly accept this power. Names were called out to receive the potion, Chen Peng Fei Miao Yun Nuo. One by one, students came forward and injected the potion into their bodies. Screams echoed everywhere. Lu Sheng was also holding a syringe. Seeing everyone showing signs of awakening, he said, After they inject the potion, they all become very strange and are in great pain. It seems this thing isn't easy to obtain. Whatever, I'll risk it. Saying that, he directly plunged the needle into his neck. Suddenly, his eyes widened in astonishment. The teacher looked at his expression, puzzled. Student Lu Sheng, it seems you haven't changed at all. Lu Sheng was also confused and asked, Teacher, could the potion I injected be fake? The girl from before, seeing he showed no reaction, spoke up mockingly. Ha ha, everyone look, it seems Lu Sheng didn't awaken anything. She approached, poked his face, and laughed. Ha ha, an unawakened martial artist is like a bird without wings. Lu Sheng, isn't this the end for you? Ha ha, just as you wished, right? This way you don't have to be a martial artist and can go home to wait for death. Lu Sheng angrily looked at her, thinking, This girl is so detestable. You're the one leading the bullying against me, aren't you? Suddenly, Lu Sheng's heart pounded violently. Thump thump. He grimaced in pain. Wait this feeling. Ding received infinite monsters. Host Lu Sheng, comprehensive physique. Martial arts 9 decisions. Chi cultivation student edition. Lanshun, fist, hard key art. Monster template has been extracted. The girl, seeing him trembling, wondered, What are you doing? If you didn't awaken, you didn't awaken. What are you pretending for? Lu Sheng anxiously warned, You all leave quickly. The girl stubbornly said, Leave on what grounds? Lu Sheng gritted his teeth, his eyes shining, veins popping on his face. Enduring the pain, he continued, If you don't leave, it'll be too late. Immediately after, a colossal monster appeared from his body. The aura it exuded sent the stubborn girl flying far away. Even those nearby couldn't withstand it and fell down in terror. The impact of the power was too strong. Who awakened what? This aura. I can't take it anymore. You! What did you do to me? A girl with sparkling eyes looked towards Lu Sheng. Another young man was also looking in that direction, thinking, is there someone even stronger than me? Ding monster template. A rank tyrant demon ape. Bloodline abilities. Bloodline contamination. Earth chi breath. Thermal core pulse. Core energy absorption. Evolved form. Flame monarch demon ape. Template compatibility 100%. Unlocked compatibility 3%. Lu Sheng clutched his arm, saying, A rank monster template tyrant demon ape. Infinite monster template. Looking at his glowing hand, Lu Sheng wondered, could this be the golden finger the system gave me? Everyone clearly saw who had just awakened and was horrified. Wasn't that the trash Lu Sheng just now? In an instant he used his aura to push back everyone around him. Wang Tong Tong even fainted. She awakened a tier 2 raging fire winged lizard, you know. What monster template did he awaken? Lu Sheng rubbed his head, walked over and said, Sorry. My awakening was a bit too loud. I told them to move away, but they didn't listen. Suddenly, the school's loudspeaker broadcast an announcement. All 12th grade students who have awakened, please proceed immediately to the testing building to check what demonic beast gene you have awakened and your martial arts level. I repeat, all gene breakthrough testing equipment can check the demonic beast gene and martial arts level of the participant. Li Xin Yuan from our class awakened a tier 3 Swiftwind bug bloodline. What good luck before awakening, he was just an average student in class and now he's shot to the top. A powerful bloodline is no joke. Chucho is truly worthy of being this year's top student. Not only is he a martial disciple 9 Dan, but he also awakened a tier 3 Ice Demon Dragon bloodline. A top tier 3 bloodline. The top scorer of Ancheng will surely be him this time. Did you see clearly young Miss Lu also a martial disciple 9 Dan, but what did she awaken? Damn it. A rare tier 4 Nether Sparrow bloodline, a provincial top scorer bloodline. If its true form appeared, it could destroy half the city. Martial artists are like ants before it. Only a grandmaster could resist it. Lu Sheng observed for a moment, thinking to himself, their awakened monster templates are classified by tier 3, tier 4. So why is mine A rank? At this moment, the announcement sounded again. Next class, 7th 3, Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng was startled. This is really too much. Everyone's eyes lit up looking at him with anticipation. Such a powerful impact, he might become a significant figure in the future. Building a good relationship now will surely provide opportunities to follow a great master. Wow hunk Lu Sheng. Seeing this scene, Lu Sheng broke out in a cold sweat. This world truly values martial artists. Thinking this, he also stepped into the testing machine. Outside, everyone was excited. It's Lu Sheng's turn now. With his aura from before, his level is definitely not low. What bloodline level after awakening can emit such a terrifying aura so cool? This time, our Ancheng has truly exploded. Chujo also focused his observation, thinking, so, his name is Lu Sheng. He's indeed worth looking forward to. Then Lu Sheng's information appeared on the screen. It only displayed basic information. The rest of the data was all question marks. Lu Sheng Class 7, Martial Disciple 3 Dan, Demonic Beast Bloodline Unknown. Everyone stared blankly, then burst into tears of laughter. Martial Disciple 3 Dan, haha. My little brother in middle school could probably beat him, haha. Bloodline unknown. It definitely means he has no bloodline at all. What a disgrace. Nothing worth waiting for at all. That's right. What good bloodline could a Martial Disciple 3 Dan have? Maybe he just let out a big fart earlier, haha. Lu Sheng, you really are still the same piece of trash that can't be lifted up. Lu Sheng stepped out of the testing machine thinking, as expected, the tyrant demon ape couldn't be detected. But it activated the infinite monster template. An information panel appeared, infinite monster template. Upgrade function can obtain more monster template draws by completing missions or increasing reputation. Current template draws 0. Although my template's level isn't like theirs, this means. Then he gave a sinister smile. Lu Sheng bared his teeth, thinking about the bright future. As long as I meet the conditions, I can infinitely draw monster templates. Doesn't that make me the king of monsters? At Ancheng No. 1 Middle School. The teacher, who seemed to be drinking wolfberry tea his wife made, frowned and asked again, what, you want to take leave to study at home and then come back later for the university entrance exam? Do you think I can believe you'll actually study at home? Lu Sheng affirmed. Teacher, I really want to improve. I know I've missed too much. Next, I need special training. If I just follow everyone else's pace, I definitely won't have a chance. The teacher's face darkened. Lu Sheng, you know the only way to become a martial artist is to get into university. I know you've awakened a bloodline, but your foundation is too weak. You absolutely cannot pass the university entrance exam, so prepare to repeat the year and try again next year. Don't be hasty. Lu Sheng's eyes sparkled with determination. Teacher, only by being hasty can one improve. Perhaps you don't understand. Now that I've awakened a powerful bloodline, as long as I undergo diligent special training, I will definitely succeed. Look into my sincere eyes, teacher. I'm definitely not deceiving you. The teacher was startled, sweating. Ah, his eyes are indeed very sincere. All right then. Next year you still have to obediently come find me to repeat the year. Scene change, Ansheng Martial Artist Center. Lu Sheng walked and said to himself, the house my parents left behind was mortgaged for 600,000, plus the compensation from their accident over 1,000. I now have a considerable amount of starting capital. Currently, to improve my strength, I have two options. One is to upgrade my martial artist level, and the other is to increase the compatibility of the Tyrant Demon Ape template. The information in the Infinite Monster template states that each new template only starts with a little compatibility, but the Tyrant Demon Ape clearly has 3 points of compatibility. Where did these 2 points come from? There's only one answer. The Tyrant Demon Ape template absorbed the energy of the Bloodline Awakening Potion, providing 2 compatibility points. This means that the gene science potions in this world can enhance the abilities of monster templates. Compared to arduous training like other martial artists, increasing the compatibility level of the monster template with money is more suitable for me. I need to quickly go buy strength-enhancing gene potions. He inserted his card into the testing machine. Student card verified. Suddenly, Lu Sheng broke out in a cold sweat, his eyes widening in shock. The people inside were exuding some kind of powerful aura. Lu Sheng thought to himself, everyone here is a martial artist who has awakened a bloodline. After awakening the Tyrant Demon Ape template, I also gained its special perception ability, Life Magnetic Field. The Tyrant Demon Ape can sense the life magnetic fields emitted by creatures. By emitting life signals, I can clearly sense the blood chi in these martial artists' bodies like a blazing furnace, and the roars of the beasts within their bloodlines. He flashed a wicked smile. Martial artists, demonic beasts. I can't suppress the desire to fight in my body. After all, the Tyrant Demon Ape is the king of beasts in their world, is the one who will conquer all creatures on this planet. Unfortunately, right now I'm just a weakling. I can only suppress the fighting bloodline within me, the Tyrant Demon Ape, and let it endure for now. Wait until I accumulate some resources and develop better, then I'll show the world what the king of monsters truly is. Suddenly a hand clapped him on the shoulder, interrupting his train of thought. Fellow student. A girl dressed in revealing clothes approached, took off her glasses, winked at him and said, you shouldn't peek at others, you know. Lu Sheng immediately replied, beautiful sister, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. The girl said, it's okay. You probably just awakened your demonic beast gene and can't control your abilities yet. It's normal. What are you doing at the Martial Artist Center? Lu Sheng replied. I came to buy gene potions, but this place is too big and I can't find where I need to go yet. Beautiful sister, can you show me the way? The girl was skeptical. Buy gene potions? Do you already need to use them at this stage? Lu Sheng asked in surprise. Huh? Is there some kind of taboo? The girl replied. Not really. It's just that gene potions on one hand aren't cheap, and on the other hand it's very easy to develop resistance to them. The effectiveness will decrease over time. To maximize the effect of the potions, martial artists usually develop their bloodline to its limit before using them. Lu Sheng curiously asked, Sister, how much does one tube of gene potion cost? The girl held up 4 fingers and said, at your current stage you can only use low-grade strengthening gene potions. The price is around 400,000. Lu Sheng's face immediately changed. So expensive, if I exchanged all my savings I wouldn't even be able to buy 5 tubes. Thinking this, he said, do you know anyone who can help me get a bit of a discount? The girl then took out a business card that read, Martial Artist 4 Dan Huang Liangli, and handed it to Lu Sheng. How about this? Take my business card there. With a martial artist's introduction, you might get a small discount. Lu Sheng took the business card, smiling brightly. Thank you so much, sister. Then he left. Huang Liangli winked playfully. See you around, little one? Lu Sheng's eyes became determined. All right, next is a crazy spending spree martial artist hospital. Welcome, everyone. Cashier payment successful, 500,000 yuan. Seeing the cashier's gaze, Lu Sheng felt a bit intimidated. Then he went to the weapon shop. 250,000 yuan. 360,000 yuan. After a whirlwind of shopping, Lu Sheng had obtained what he needed. Then he injected the gene potion into his body. Ding Monster Template Tyrant Demon Ape. Compatibility 3%, 4%, 4%, 7%. Host Lu Sheng. Comprehensive Physique. 8, 10, 10. 15. Martial Disciple, 7. Dan. After absorbing all the potion, Lu Xing panted heavily. So this is the feeling of improvement. But wait. Each time I added a tube of gene potion, my physique increased by 2 points. But the last tube only increased it by 1 point. It seems that as the physique improves, it becomes increasingly difficult to continue strengthening it. But it's not bad. In just over 10 minutes, I've achieved results comparable to 3 years of hard training for others. And this is just my normal physique. If I activate the bloodline power of the tyrant demon ape. The more Lu Xing spoke, the more excited he became, laughing loudly. I can still compete for the position of university top scorer. If I still can't surpass those geniuses with this buff, then this buff is truly terrible. Off to the Mystic Realm. Saying that he immediately went to the Mystic Realm. Mystic Realm rifts are divided into 6 levels from S to E. The higher the level, the stronger the demonic beasts in the Mystic Realm. Demonic beasts in S-rank Mystic Realms are basically uncontrollable for humans. Once they invade the real world, it will be an apocalypse. On Cheng number 3 E-rank, Mystic Realm. Lu Xing observed for a while and said, "There are fewer people here than I thought. Perhaps it's because the Mystic Realm has been explored for too long. After all, it's just an old Mystic Realm. The treasures inside have already been taken by others. Only a few weak monsters are left for new martial artists to practice on." Then he went to the permit office and said, "Hello, I've booked a ticket to Mystic Realm number 3. The person there was engrossed in watching a romance movie and didn't turn around, just pointed to a piece of paper on the table and said, "Sign the death waiver. This is your entry ticket." Standing before the Mystic Realm gate, Lu Xing couldn't help but marvel. "So this is a Mystic Realm rift?" He gave a sinister, excited smile. "This is the beginning of my journey to become the king of monsters. I'm going in." Then he skipped and jumped inside. His small body gradually passed through the gate. Once inside, he landed gracefully in a cool pose. Dark Orchid Star. Dark Micro Star. Bright Gold Star. Lu Xing observed his surroundings and said, "Although I already knew about the appearance of Mystic Realms from textbooks, nothing can compare to seeing it with my own eyes. This space is truly magnificent, and you can even see the starry sky." Lu Xing was marveling at the scenery in the Mystic Realm, completely unaware that behind him a red rabbit was stalking him. Its teeth were sharp and its eyes radiated killing intent. It was a Tier 1 blade-toothed rabbit. Then it bared its sharp teeth, tensed its body, and immediately lunged towards Lu Xing. Lu Xing quickly turned around and grabbed its ears tightly. Then he gave a lewd smile. "Foolish, did you really think I wouldn't sense you? Ding monster template energy life magnetic field." Then Lu Xing directly crushed the rabbit, sending it to meet its ancestors. Holding a stone in his hand, Lu Xing said, "The demonic core of a blade-toothed rabbit. Normal quality white. Its value is only about 1,000. However, just a few minutes after entering, I've already earned 1,000. The efficiency is quite high. Ordinary people work hard for a whole month and only earn 3,000 or 4,000. But collecting too many Tier 1 demonic beast cores isn't very useful. It's best to get Tier 2 demonic beasts, or higher." Just then, something appeared behind him again. It was a Tier 2 demon weaving bug. Lu Xing was startled, turned around, and saw its large body. He smiled triumphantly and drew the sword in his hand. "It's really true you get what you wish for, on Cheng no. 3. E-rank Mystic Realm." Lu Xing swung his sword towards the demonic beast. Its blood flowed out, but it was green. He glanced behind him. "I've seen the demonic beast atlas before. Compared to the hard carapace on its back, the abdomen of the demon corpse bug is obviously an easier part to break through." Suddenly, the demonic beast curled into a ball and spun at extremely high speed, rushing towards Lu Xing. Lu Xing immediately put his sword aside, then brought his 2 fists close together, muttering, "Martial Dao!" Only a flash of blue light was seen. "Lanshan Fist," saying that he threw both fists towards the demonic beast. Unexpectedly, from under the demonic beast, something shot out extremely fast, like a hidden weapon, towards him. Lu Xing was surprised, thinking its teeth can even shoot out. Then he leaned over, dodging both teeth. He cursed angrily. "Damn you! Do you know how expensive this set of clothes is, huh?" Then he observed the demonic beast again, thinking, "With my current martial artist level, I can't fight this bug at all. After all, without the powerful support of martial arts, no matter how profound my Dantian's blood chi is, it's hard to unleash even 50% of its power. Or is it because the previous owner's body was too ordinary? It seems I have to turn on the hack." Thinking this, he said, "Tyrant." The Tyrant Demon Ape bloodline activated. A pair of deep blue eyes opened, and the sharp teeth of the Tyrant Demon Ape appeared. At this moment, Lu Xing's hands had transformed into beastly claws. His current physique had increased from 15 to 21. The Tier 2 demonic beast let out a roar, and then rushed towards Lu Xing. Lu Xing wasn't afraid and directly rushed towards it. Then he used his hands full of sharp claws to tear the demonic beast in half in an instant. After killing the Tier 2 demonic beast, Lu Sheng reverted from his transformed state. He felt the power after the transformation and sighed. After my comprehensive physique soared to 21 points when facing the Tier 2 demon corpse bug, I completely suppressed it. After deactivating the transformation, I still need to eliminate the thermal energy in my body. I feel like a jet engine. The saber I just bought was corroded by the venom of this demon corpse bug. A 500,000 yuan piece of equipment basically can't deal with a Tier 2 demonic beast. It's really bad. Quality assessment. Oh, could it be because it's my first time hunting demonic beasts, so the consumption was too great? I'm so hungry and I didn't prepare any dry rations. Suddenly he smelled something. What's this smell? It's so fragrant. He picked up a large green stone thinking it's a demonic core. This demon weaving bug's demonic core is green quality and it also emits a captivating fragrance. Screw it. Saying that, he put it in his mouth and swallowed the demonic core. When it entered his stomach, it glowed. Ding Monster Template Tyrant Demon Ape. Compatibility 7%, 7.3%. Lu Sheng was astonished. The compatibility increased. It cost me tens of thousands to buy a bottle of gene potion just to increase my compatibility by 1%. Yet eating this one green demonic core increased it by 0.3%. If it were 3 or 4, wouldn't that be equivalent to a whole bottle? Then that means the white demonic core of the blade-toothed rabbit from earlier must have had at least 1% compatibility. He shed tears, thinking, damn it, money, oh money, turned sorrow into motivation. Tonight, I, Lu Sheng, must hunt to my heart's content, saying that he placed 2 fingers on his glabella. Life magnetic field, activate. Waves of the magnetic field began to radiate outwards with him at the center. After an unknown amount of time, Lu Sheng left the mystic realm with his backpack. Ding Template Tyrant Demon Ape. Compatibility 9%, comprehensive physique 15.8. He thought to himself, after the compatibility reached 9%. Swallowing white demonic cores no longer increases compatibility. It seems I can only sell them for money. After reaching the counter, Lu Sheng placed all the demonic cores on the table, a total of 20 white demonic cores and 1 green demonic core. The girl looked at this pile of demonic cores, unable to hide her shock. Is this real or fake? You're just a high school student, yet you hunted so many demonic creatures. Lu Sheng said. According to government regulations, martial artists must submit a portion of their harvest. For every green demonic core obtained, 5 white demonic cores must be submitted. He thought to himself, that's 200,000 Shia country currency in hand. The martial artists behind him saw this, and were also shocked, breaking out in a cold sweat. 9 days before the college entrance exam. Ansheng number 4, D rank Mystic Realm. A group of martial artists was here. One person spoke up. Team leader Lin, this time, if we hand over the blood jade flower, we can complete the bounty mission, right? Another person said, the last time we searched this place, we successfully found the approximate location of the blood jade flower. But because old Chen was injured by a monster, he can't enter the mystic realm with us this time. A girl curiously asked, so there are only 5 of us? That's right. But the rule is that a team must have at least 6 people to enter a D-rank mystic realm. It's okay. I've already contacted an agent who introduced us to a new martial artist. Saying that, he pointed behind him. Someone was currently walking over. The newcomer is said to be a Tier 2 martial artist, Lin He. Lin He asked, are you Daysake martial disciple 9 Dan, right? Lu Sheng picked his nose and replied, that's right. He thought to himself, because I'm still a student, I'm not qualified to enter a D-rank mystic realm, so I could only find a black market broker to create a fake identity to join a team. It actually cost me 100,000. Damn black market. Lin. He worried, Daysake. This name feels a bit unsettling. Lu Sheng's face darkened as he replied, there's no other way. Based on the original meaning, it means to usurp power. Lin He didn't pay much attention. Forget it. It's just a name anyway. With your martial disciple 9 Dan level, you're indeed not qualified to enter a D-rank mystic realm. Our team can give you a chance to train, but you absolutely must not drag us down. Lu Sheng immediately replied, no problem. He secretly praised clarifying responsibilities before carrying out the mission is quite reliable. It's better than being screwed over when something happens. Lin. He said again. All right then, let's set off. We must find the blood jade flower this time. Saying that, the car carrying 6 people drove straight into the mystic realm gate. After entering Lin, he explained, according to the location, the blood jade flower is in an oasis up ahead. There's a Tier 2 general rank bloodline demonic beast guarding it there. Lu Sheng thought to himself. Last time it was a tropical rainforest, this time it's a desert. It seems this mystic realm isn't the same as the world I transmigrated from. Suddenly, a pack of demonic beasts chased after the car. Someone in the team shouted, team leader, earth demon rats are targeting us. Lin He immediately said, Who-dee take care of them? Hu-dee replied, Roger. Then several throwing darts appeared in his hand and he quickly threw them towards the demonic beasts. Immediately these darts embedded themselves straight into the heads of the demonic beasts, causing them to bleed and scream in pain. From behind the car, more explosions occurred. Hu Dai turned around and said coldly, "Done." Lu Sheng, who had been observing from the side, thought to himself, channeling martial chi into throwing darts, and they explode like bombs upon hitting the target. This big brother is decisive, and a man of few words, huh? After an unknown amount of time, the team arrived at the oasis everyone mentioned. The team got out of the car and proceeded on foot. Lu Sheng spoke up. "Why aren't we driving anymore? This place is still quite a distance from the oasis." Lin He replied, "Because the monster in the oasis is extremely sensitive, the sound of the off-road vehicle will definitely be detected by it. Mission assignments during execution. Little Jia later throw a stun grenade to lure that beast out. Little Yu-Hu to Yu-Tu set up traps. Old Liu suppress with ranged attacks. I'll be responsible for the main frontal attack." Then he pointed towards Lu Sheng. "Assignment for Daisake, stand by and observe." Lu Sheng pursed his lips, whistled, and nodded. "Okay." Suddenly, a large explosion occurred and dust filled the air. The stun grenade contained high-level demonic beast pheromones, making some demonic creatures think their territory was being invaded, thus luring them out. A giant dragon appeared. It was the Tier 2 demonic beast, Earth Dragon. Lin He reminded newcomer, "Be careful, the demonic beast is here." At this time, at the location where Hu Dai had killed the demonic beasts, a person approached, picked up one of his throwing darts, then brought it to his mouth, licked it, and gave a sinister smile. Ha ha. The monster that had just appeared sensed danger somewhere. In a flash, the team leader leaped up and severed the monster's head with a single strike from the sword on his shoulder. The force was terrifying. Immediately, the demonic beast collapsed to the ground where its head had been severed, and green blood gushed out, forming a large puddle. The only girl in the team, Little Xia, ran over, shouting, "Team leader Lin behind you too! It's finally over!" Standing before the fallen back of the enormous demonic beast, the imposing team leader Lin, he slung his sword over his shoulder and said, "Now let's go find the blood jade fruit." He had just finished speaking when suddenly from behind him, a large, sharp-clawed demonic beast leg lunged to attack. The team leader was startled and turned to look. Everyone shouted, "Team leader Lin, be careful!" From another direction, someone leaped into the air. It was our protagonist, Lu Sheng. He rushed to assist the team leader with incredible speed, appearing above the team leader and everyone else in an instant. Before anyone knew what he was planning, Lu Sheng from high above delivered a powerful blow downwards. His spiritual power surged down towards the monster like a lightning rod. The ground immediately erupted, and dust flew up like a massive explosion. After this display, the team leader, his face purple with shock, turned and said, "He's just a martial disciple, yet he possesses the strength to send a Tier 2 demonic beast flying." Little Xia was also surprised by this. That punch was so strong, and so Lu Sheng received a shower of praise and admiration from his teammates. "That Lanshan fist of yours is really formidable, killing a Tier 2 demonic beast." Our man acted coolly and replied, "It was nothing." The team leader was very happy and extremely satisfied. "Thank you for saving me. From now on, we will officially be a team." D. A moment later, the team leader held a fruit in his hand, its color resembling animal organs. He joyfully exclaimed, "Found it! It's the blood jade fruit." Bald Little Wu poked it with his finger, showing considerable interest. "This time we even got the Earth Dragon's crystal core. The harvest is quite good." Little Jia, however, was a bit puzzled and also attracted by its strange appearance. "This round red thing is so valuable." As for our protagonist, he stood at a distance thinking to himself with a craving, "It looks like a giant cherry tomato." Seeing the team members' interest in the blood jade fruit, the team leader spoke up. "Of course, this thing can increase compatibility with one's template. Although it wasn't easy this time, I think we managed to defeat the Earth Dragon smoothly and get the blood." While everyone was reveling in their victory, the unsuspecting team leader was treacherously stabbed in the back by Hu Dai. Huda gloated loudly, Hey, it's not that simple, team leader Lin." Lin He, in pain, turned around full of disappointment and shock. This scene made the remaining team members both indignant and horrified. "Team leader, what's going on?" The team leader immediately turned and threw a punch at Hu Dai. However, Hu Dai quickly dodged and retreated. Team leader Lin He angrily asked, "Hu Dai, what are you doing?" At this moment, another man appeared beside Hu Dai. He said loudly, "What am I doing? Can't you see? Of course I'm doing something that can make a lot of money." It was the man who had been following Lu Sheng's group and picked up the dagger on the road earlier. So this guy was colluding with Hu Dai. He was dressed ridiculously and had a large build. Team leader Lin He recognized him and shouted, "Huo Peng, what are you doing here?" Seeing Little Wu's extremely angry and resentful expression, Lu Sheng turned and asked curiously, "Do you guys know this bald guy?" Little Wu clenched his fists as if wanting to give this guy a beating immediately, and replied, "Huo Peng." He specializes in robbing the spoils of war that martial artists find in mystic realms, so he had his eyes on us from the start. Damn it. Team leader Lin. He was injured and his combat strength was now weakened. He clutched his stomach and looked up, cursing at Huda. There's poison on the dagger, Huda, you traitor. How did you know we were here? Even though they only learned the exact location of the bloodjade fruit after entering the mystic realm, observing the events, Lu Sheng deduced it himself. He remembered that when they first entered the mystic realm, Hu Dai had left a mark. Lu Sheng said, it was the darts. He threw the darts to make a signal. By now, Hu Dai had also turned hostile. He held the dagger in his hand, his face contorted into a frightening expression. You, on the other hand, are very smart, haha. Daisuke, aren't you a student? You're probably about to take the university entrance exam, right? Instead of focusing on your studies, you want to take a trip to see the black and white impermanence, huh? However, his demeanor didn't scare Lu Sheng. He tilted his head calmly and replied, That's right, the university entrance exam is coming up. The top scorer position is waiting for me. Hearing Lu Sheng's arrogant words, this guy got so angry that he threw the dagger straight at him, shouting, Arrogant fool! However, he had underestimated Lu Sheng. He caught the dagger with just 2 fingers, his eyes incredibly firm and sharp, and replied, The two-faced dog barking in front of me is the real arrogant one. Saying that, he directly tensed his arm. A layer of bright spiritual power fire ignited on his fist. His face darkened as he said, Disgusting. Time to take out the trash. Realizing that this student wasn't easy to deal with, Huo Peng, standing beside him, gritted his teeth. You're quite interesting, too. Huda, I want his head. Veins bulged on his bald head. Receiving Huo Peng's order, Hu Dai immediately unleashed all his powerful techniques, attacking with multiple daggers simultaneously from all directions. Each dagger was coated with a thicker layer of spiritual power than before. Countering the traitor Hu Dai's attack, Lu Sheng crouched down. A protective circle of energy immediately formed around his body. All incoming daggers shattered upon impact. Lu Sheng tensed up and shouted, Gore! After the barrage of daggers ended, Lu Sheng also deactivated the protective circle. However, the traitor was nowhere to be seen. Everyone shouted a warning, Daisuke, be careful! Hu Dai was nowhere to be found. It turned out this guy was using a sneak attack. He was waiting behind, aiming a high kick to take him down from behind. Everyone shouted, Daisuke, be careful above you! Immediately, he pointed 2 fingers straight at the spot between his eyebrows. From his 2 fingers, a stream of spiritual power radiated outwards. Accordingly, Lu Sheng's eyes also lit up. He muttered, just in time to test the skill I just comprehended. At this very moment, Lu Sheng raised one hand high and pointed directly at Hu Dai's chest. The force emanating from his hand was no different from a lightning bolt striking down from the sky. Hu Dai received a fatal blow. This powerful move from Lu Sheng had to shock the team leader. One move killed Hu Dai. Is he really a martial disciple? A high school student? Just by pointing his finger, he killed a skilled fighter. Lu Sheng blew on his finger as if firing a gun. Hu Dai fell face first to the ground behind him. On this side, Huo Peng was extremely bewildered and anxious. Yet he pointed arrogantly. Jean, Art. Which great family are you a disciple of? Lu Sheng stood with his legs wide apart, hands in his pockets with an incredibly cool demeanor. Family, I'm from the Godzilla clan. Do you want to kneel and beg for mercy? Behind him, the imposing true form of a beast also appeared. Hearing these words, Huo Peng turned purple with anger. He completely lost his temper and erupted with power. Kid, even if you have Jean Art, you can't make up for the difference in martial cultivation. Now he also revealed his true form. Behind him was a black bear. It opened its mouth wide, full of ferocious teeth. This guy's face looked just like the bear's. Huo Peng roared, Expanding power, ah! And just like that, he mutated into a giant form. Huo Peng aimed his attack at Lu Sheng. However, this high schooler still showed no signs of worry. When the black bear leaped high to attack, he ducked down. Lu Sheng used his finger-pointing move again this time, shooting a powerful spiritual force straight up from below, aiming right at the big bear's leg. His cunning face said like before. Huo Peng roared in pain, Ah, my leg! Unable to use this move, he immediately switched to another. Huo Peng bent low to the ground using his 2 giant arms wanting to grab Lu Sheng. But it wasn't that simple. He nimbly jumped high and neatly dodged the big bear. Huo Peng also gathered momentum and jumped up after Lu Sheng. Now Lu Sheng also had to acknowledge this guy's tenacity. A Tier 2 martial artist is different indeed. My atomic breath couldn't melt his ankle. When Lu Sheng landed on the ground, the 2 large hands of the giant bear Huo Peng were about to touch his body. This guy's face was dark and extremely ferocious, clearly wanting to kill Lu Sheng immediately. Clap! The giant's 2 hands slammed together. From the very center of his palms, an incredibly powerful shockwave erupted. It turned out this guy had missed. Lu Sheng had teleported behind Huo Peng at some unknown moment and had already prepared the energy for his attack. Done attacking. Now it's my turn. Hearing Lu Sheng's voice, this guy was terrified. Now Lu Sheng's hands were tightly clenched into fists, and he was very angry, coupled with annoyance. Energy radiated fiercely all around Lu Sheng. One could imagine that now anyone facing him was just waiting for death. A moment later, after his strength and energy were fully charged, Lu Sheng unleashed a continuous barrage of punches at Huo Peng. This large lump of flesh had to endure successive blows with powerful force. Finally, for a quick and neat ending, Huo Peng was injured to the point of reverting to his original body. On his chest, there were many marks left by the punches. Lu Sheng's hands also cooled down and steam rose from them. Initially, everyone in the group thought that the high school student Lu Sheng was just an ordinary person, the weakest in the group. Now everyone had to widen their eyes in admiration and look at him differently. So strong. At this moment, Huo Peng still didn't know what fear was. Beaten until his face was swollen and bruised, he still hissed, "You brought poison gas into your gene art. Truly despicable. A wicked martial artist like you will definitely be punished. I curse you." These words directly made Lu Sheng even more furious. His eyes opened, and his pupils accordingly lit up terrifyingly. Clenching his fists, Lu Sheng said in a low voice, "Many want to curse me. What do you think you are?" After the Mystic Realm ended, the scene changed to the Anqing Central Stadium. Finally, the university enrollment day had begun. The state even mobilized aircraft and banners to warmly welcome it. The announcer's voice boomed, "Hello, everyone! The annual senior martial artist selection is about to begin. I'll just say one thing. I wish all you martial artists flourishing luck." The owner of the voice was a very handsome and dapper male MC. He was currently live streaming. Behind him, there were many spectators attending. Everyone was excited and eagerly awaiting the exam. This year's exam adopted a martial arts arena competition format. Contestants would compete in pairs, and the winner would advance to the next round. The exam would take place over 3 days. The first 2 days were preliminaries. The winning contestants would enter the third day of competition. In the preliminary round, each contestant would compete in 3 matches. Those who advanced would compete against each other until the top scorer of this exam was selected. After clearly analyzing the entire competition process, the MC was very excited. He shouted enthusiastically, "We carry the mission of humanity for ourselves and for humanity. Therefore, give it your all on the stage. I declare the Anqing selection exam officially open." Very quickly, we saw many contestants fighting in various arenas, from arena number 1 to the appearance of female fighters in arena number 4. Besides that, there would also be cases where competing pairs encountered problems. At arena number 6, it seems something has happened at arena number 6. Has a contestant not arrived yet? The MC, who was live streaming, was extremely confused. He said, "Let me check a bit. Both contestants, Wang Tongtong and Lu Sheng, are from Anqing number 1 school, but currently only Wang Tongtong is on the arena. According to the rules, if one of the 2 contestants has not appeared after the martial arts competition begins, it will be considered a forfeit. On arena number 6, only the Tongtong who used to bully him was left. She, thinking Lu Sheng was a coward, acted very smugly and said, 'Daring to embarrass me at the Grand Assembly, making me lose face in front of others, I was originally planning to release my fire lizard to humiliate him, but he already gave up.'" Below the stands, many spectators also showed great annoyance at the absent contestant's attitude. They gossiped among themselves. "He's probably hiding at home, not daring to show his face right. What a buzzkill. Such a coward the competition is here, and he doesn't dare to come out. He's probably so scared he wet his pants, so he doesn't dare to come, ha. If he's such a coward, why bother studying? Just go out and be a worker." At this time, after waiting too long, the time was up. The referee blew the whistle and announced, "Time is up. Anqing number 1 high school, Lu Sheng forfeits." At this very moment, suddenly many people noticed something strange appearing in the sky. A bald man looked up at the sky, wondering, "Something is coming here." Nearby, an old man with a long beard and hair also commented, "Such a strong aura." In the blue sky, there was a dazzling flash of light. Behind it was dense black smoke. The people who had just spoken exclaimed in fear, "Is that a thing or a person?" Looking closely, it was none other than our Lu Sheng. The way he arrived at the competition was also different from everyone else. He dived headfirst towards the arena amidst everyone's gasps. How strong must one be to fly in the air? Immediately from high in the sky, a powerful pillar of spiritual energy slammed down in front of Tong Tong. It was no different from a heaven-sent lightning rod. The force was too strong, forcing her to use all her strength to stand her ground. After landing, the smoke gradually dissipated. Tong Tong slowly looked up at what was in front of her. She muttered, "What kind of trick is this?" Before she could even compose herself, something hard and indistinct rushed towards her, attacking in an instant. It turned out to be the sole of Lu Sheng's shoe. He delivered a kick that sent Tong Tong flying backward. This one blow was considered revenge for the days she continuously bullied the Lu Sheng of this life. Because Lu Sheng was late, he had to use this method. He shielded his eyes with his hand to see his opponent sighing and muttering, "Phew, that was close. A little longer and I would have had to retake the exam next year." As for Tong Tong, who was smug just a moment ago, she was now coughing up blood lying on the arena floor in too much pain to move her body. The announcer's voice rang out, "Lu Sheng wins!" He clicked his tongue. It wasn't even satisfying, and I already won? That easy. In response to this incredibly swift victory, the audience below all raised their hands in applause. This Lu Sheng is so strong. One kick directly knocked out his opponent. The way he entered the arena was so cool. Could this be the legendary kick from heaven? At this time, the system also displayed a notification. Host Lu Sheng. Overall physique 25.5. Monster template Tyrant Godzilla. Compatibility 20%. Now the expression on our ill-mannered protagonist's face was extreme. He gave a strange, cunning laugh and said, "Team Leader Lin, to thank you for giving me the Blood Jade Fruit. The Blood Jade Fruit enhanced my physique, so it took a little time. Next, I have a show for you all to watch." A moment later, the rankings were announced. Lu Sheng would fight someone named Long Tao. Announcer, An Cheng No. 4 High School Long Tao versus An Cheng No. 1 High School Lu Sheng. With just one kick, he made the guy who was several times bigger and stronger than him cough up blood on the spot. The announcer had to shout again, "Lu Sheng wins. An Cheng No. 4 Long Tao versus An Cheng No. 1 Lu Sheng. Again, it's a move using one kick to defeat the opponent. Lu Sheng wins." Every time he scored, every time he won a match, the audience below would get excited and cheer loudly, "Lu Sheng. Every match is one extremely decisive kick. This is simply a one-kick man." Lu Sheng clenched his fists. This is too simple for a reincarnator like me. Announcer, commending An Cheng No. 1. High school student Lu Sheng for winning all 3 matches and advancing to the next round. After finishing 3 consecutive rounds, Lu Sheng went inside. At this time, many people admired him for his classy fighting style. So many people surrounded Lu Sheng, intending to invite him. "Student Lu Sheng, if you're interested, please learn a little about Shishan University." "Student Lu Sheng, add me on Facebook." Student, although we are a private university, we have very generous grants and scholarships. Take a look. "Student Lu Sheng, our university needs strong students like you." "Student Lu Sheng, do you have a favorite university?" Even though there were many invitations willingly extended to him, Lu Sheng already had his own opinion. He glanced in another direction, then, with a resolute look, said in front of everyone, "Favorite university? Sorry, but I want to apply to Huadu University." After these words, the people who were just soliciting him now turned their backs. They coldly said, "Just getting to the final round and already acting like this. When you get slapped in the face, you'll come begging us. Lu Sheng, if you fail, remember to contact me. You were so sweet just a moment ago." Lu Sheng was extremely flustered. He said, startled, "No way, you guys don't trust me that much." But he couldn't blame them. Huadu University, the best martial artist school in Xia country. A top global university was a sacred place in the hearts of all martial artists. But now our protagonist showed a devilish expression and thought to himself, in a second-tier city like Anqing, only a few top people are qualified to enter that sacred place. Well, anyway, martial artists rely on strength to speak. Wait until I win the championship, then I'll see what you all say. Just as this matter ended, suddenly, 2 men in suits looking very serious appeared. The man with hair held out a card in front of Lu Sheng and said, "Student Lu Sheng, please cooperate with us for a moment. We will now re-examine your martial artist level." Lu Sheng didn't hesitate and let the bald guy check him. He held it in his hand and exclaimed, "Martial Disciple Level 9 Student Lu Sheng, clearly half a month ago you were still a Martial Disciple Level 3. Resting his hand on this man's shoulder, he looked down, feeling annoyed. "In just 3 short months, it's impossible to improve so quickly. You mean you suspect cheating, right?" The bald guy continued, "After investigation, we found that after leaving school, you frequently went to the E-rank Mystic Realm. Why did you go to such a dangerous place before the exam?" Faced with such a tricky question, Lu Sheng still acted like an excellent Hollywood actor. He even put on an expression of suffering and extreme determination as he recounted, "Sorry, sir, let me compose myself for a moment. Before my father left, he told me one thing. To surpass humans, one must first stop being human. Therefore, I fought relentlessly in the Mystic Realm. During one battle, I unexpectedly broke my gene seal. This is extremely rare and unbelievable." After hearing Lu Sheng say this, the 2 investigating officers were stunned. Their faces pale, sweating profusely, as if they couldn't believe it, and said again, "What, you broke your gene seal?" And so these 2 guys finally left, muttering, "Impossible, we must hurry back and report." Lu Sheng watched them go, gritting his teeth in anger. He suspected he had suddenly become a key target for observation. Bored, he scrolled through YouTube Shorts. On the news feeds everywhere were short clips posted by families sending messages to students. "Son, do your best. Daughter, just try your hardest. Old Wang, wait for the first-class driver to return, and we'll have a grand party." Sitting, leaning back in a chair, Lu Sheng looked at his phone. He felt a bit envious and muttered, They even interview the parents, relatives, and friends of the contestants. Then he looked into the distance with a rather unhappy expression. Lu Sheng pursed his lips and said to himself, "It seems no one is cheering for me. What a poor kid." However, what Lu Sheng didn't know was that somewhere there was still one person observing him from afar and always cheering him on. "Go, Lu Sheng, go!" It was his head teacher who had agreed to let him study at home. After resting for a while, it was Lu Sheng's turn to enter the arena and continue fighting. The announcer's voice rang out, "First round of competition on Cheng No. 1 High School, Lu Sheng." Lu Sheng's figure stood alone on the platform waiting for his opponent. This time he had to fight a student from Ancheng No. 3 High School, Luo Xuan. As soon as this person appeared, he immediately attracted a lot of attention from everyone. It seemed he was quite famous and strong. "It's Luo Xuan, he's the top student of Ancheng No. 3 High School. Luo Xuan is a martial disciple level 8, no joke. He even awakened a rare Tier 2 demonic beast bloodline. Both his parents are martial artists. It seems his opponent this time is unlucky." Faced with his opponent's arrogance and triumph, Lu Sheng, however, didn't seem to care much. He scratched his neck and said, "You go first." This challenge from Lu Sheng made him feel humiliated. He was also known for being strong, but now he was being looked down upon. This guy gritted his teeth and said in a low voice, "Ha! Don't you know who I am?" Lu Sheng didn't back down and retorted, "Knowing or not knowing doesn't affect the outcome of the match." Being provoked like that, the one called Luo Xuan became extremely furious. He tensed up, his spiritual power erupting from his body. This guy was truly enraged. "Ha ha! You're not wrong, but in the end, I'll be the winner." Saying that, he began to gather power in his arm. Luo Xuan clenched his fist, and a dazzling, intense light of power emanated from it. He roared and lunged forward. "I hope your luck is good enough. At least you won't die right here." Immediately using his awakened ability, he transformed his arm into a demonic beast's arm full of sharp claws. In a few more seconds, it would make contact with Lu Sheng's face. However, he showed no panic or worry. Just like that, Lu Sheng used his bare hand to firmly grip and interlock with Luo Xuan's beastly hand. Looking through the claws, one could see the murderous intent in his eyes. Lu Sheng said in a low voice, "Your aura is pretty good, but you're still far behind that bald old guy." Lu Sheng only used his bare hand, but it was enough to make Luo Xuan's face turn pale with pain. Cold sweat poured down his trembling body as he exclaimed, "Ah, my hand!" Just by grabbing his hand, it was enough to make Luo Xuan crouch down in pain. This guy couldn't resist any further. Seizing this opportunity, Lu Sheng raised his hand high to launch a fatal blow, bringing it down with force onto Luo Xuan's back. A terrifying force, along with a dazzling spiritual light, erupted. Luo Xuan's entire body slammed onto the arena floor, causing the ground around him to crack. Immediately, the protagonist, with a cruel smile, attacked without mercy. He looked at his opponent and said, "Aren't there any better candidates?" MC announced, "Ancheng No. 1 High School student Lu Sheng wins." The MC continued to shout into the announcer's microphone. Another strike, and he defeated the seeded player Luo Xuan. At this moment, Luo Xuan, beaten and exhausted, lay completely motionless on the arena floor, his face pale green, his mouth full of dirt and sand. The people in the stands, who had placed all their faith in Luo Xuan, angrily shouted, "Luo Xuan looked so fierce, but now he's lying flat." And now their attitude towards Lu Sheng was completely reversed. Elegant as a cloud, a master's demeanor, a completely different level, the gap is too big. So handsome, I want to have his babies, being broadcast live. Lu Sheng pretended to pick his ear, looking very arrogant. "Even though I used my hand this time, it still counts as one blow, right? So strong, truly worthy of being called one-blow Superman." At this moment, below the stands, many spectators were more excited and boisterous than ever. Everyone cheered for him. "Lu Sheng, I believe in you. Lu Sheng will definitely make it to the finals. Lu Sheng is indeed the man I have my eyes on. I will definitely defeat you in the finals." One by one, injured contestants were continuously carried away. Whoever fought him ended up either crippled or unconscious. In a corner of the arena, a student noticed this. He silently muttered, "Is that Lu Sheng?" This student wasn't arrogant like the others. On the contrary, he was analyzing his opponent and had a bit of admiration, worthy of being someone I respect. I will definitely defeat him in the final match. At the live monitoring room of the Huadu University Admissions Committee, Lu Sheng's brilliance immediately attracted the attention of many important figures. A man pointed at the large screen and ordered, "Within half an hour, I want his entire file." His subordinates unanimously complied. In another battle, the MC shouted into the announcer's microphone, "The second group qualifiers are extremely intense. The top promotion round is about to begin." The two figures currently capturing the attention of the entire arena were two incredibly beautiful and charming girls. Everyone was buzzing. Damn, this battle between the two beautiful geniuses. Liu Yi Liu. Please enjoy. The girl with long curly hair and a very stylish short skirt was known as the Queen of Ancheng No. 2 High School, Sa Shaoling. The graceful girl pointed at her opponent and said, "Miss Liu, I absolutely hate that robotic expression of yours." Shaoling's formidable opponent was also known as the Ice-Cold Flower, a student from Ancheng No. 1 High School. Her name was Liu Qingju. In response to Sa Shaoling's taunt, the ice-cold flower Liu Qingju remained very cold and didn't reply. Below it was extremely noisy. "I love watching beauties fight drooling. Shut up, you perverts. The match begins. Tweet, tweet." The referee took a breath and blew the whistle decisively. Precisely because Liu Qingju didn't respond, Sa Shaoling completely flew into a rage. And just like that, she launched a powerful kick, attacking first. "Very well, let's see if you can maintain that expression when I pin you to the ground." At this moment, to counter, Sa Shaoling, Liu Qingju immediately made a move in response. She raised both hands, transforming energy into a circle of spiritual power in front of her. Her mouth opened wide as she shouted her martial skill, Willow Cold Secret Art Slaying Order. Then this swirling layer of spiritual power impacted Sa Shaoling's long, slender legs. It glowed brightly and suppressed her force. When Sa Shaoling kicked hard and jumped high, Qingju also countered with a hand strike. Shaoling continuously twisted her body in mid-air. The two rushed towards each other, first using legs, then Shaoling used her hands. She leaped up and at the same time gathered a lot of energy in her palm, then rushed towards Qingju, her eyes blazing with murderous intent. Seeing Qingju continuously dodging and blocking, she got annoyed and shouted, "Get serious!" But how could Sa Shaoling's attack on Qingju, who was supposed to be her equal in ability, be so simple? Just as Sa Shaoling's palm was about to hit Qingju's chest, her hand was suddenly locked by a swirling layer of spiritual power. Shaoling screamed. It seemed that only now did Sa Shaoling realize she had made a wrong move. Sa Shaoling's face turned pale with fear. She thought frantically, "Damn it, I'm caught in a trap. My hand is caught in the chi wave, I can't pull it out." Seizing the opportunity. Having firmly caught her opponent now was the golden moment to finish it. Qingju didn't say much. She focused her spiritual power into her punch. It then glowed, causing Shaoling to become terrified. This light revealed Shaoling's panic. Observing the fight between the two beautiful girls was too satisfying and exciting. The handsome MC excitedly shouted, "Xuan Huang martial skill! A university entrance exam contestant has mastered a Xuan Huang martial skill. This talent doesn't need to be proven through exams anymore. She can be specially admitted to Huadu right away." But not letting herself be overwhelmed, Shaoling immediately summoned her beast form. Her true form appeared behind her, a majestic tiger. It was furious and crazily roaring, attacking. So Shaoling's entire body transformed into the sharp fangs and claws of this large feline. Her aura was truly terrifying. This completely surprised the MC. He said, "This little girl has tamed a King-rank Tier 3 bloodline, the Terror Shadow. Tiger King-rank bloodlines are inherently difficult to control, let alone the ferocious Terror Shadow Tiger. This little girl's future is immeasurable." At this moment, taking advantage of her superior position, Shaoling continued to speak smugly. "Let me see your Nether Sparrow bloodline." However, facing Shaoling's seriousness and ferocity, Qingju, on the contrary, replied nonchalantly, "This is enough." These words made Shaoling even more furious. The girl with two long pigtails was not as demure as she appeared. She completely lost it, and lunged with her sharp claws, attacking. "This is enough. You dare say that to me? Do you think anyone below a martial grandmaster can match me?" The confrontation and difference between these two girls, one was fire type, the other, ice type. One talked a lot, the other said little. One attacked a lot, the other countered. Then they both rushed at each other, their power like a storm. Shaoling threw a punch aimed at Qingju's face. However, she easily dodged this blow. Shaoling gritted her teeth in frustration. Not satisfied, Shaoling continued to use her hind legs to attack Qingju's lower body. The sharp claws of the beast aimed straight there, emitting extremely powerful spiritual energy. Facing Shaoling's enthusiastic attack, Qingju chanted, raising her hand to her glabella. Her eyes shone brightly. She shouted, "Primordial Jade Pond!" After this chant, Qingju only needed to point one finger at Shaoling's sharp claws. Instantly, a circle of spiritual power glowed, enveloping those claws. The point of contact emitted a powerful force. Observing this extremely exciting and thrilling battle, seeing the battlefield change drastically, Qingju and Shaoling rushing at each other had created a vortex, like a storm swirling around the two of them. The MC shouted into the microphone, commentating, "Liu Qingju's and Sa Shaoling's martial chi are clashing violently. The arena is filled with a cloud of dust. Who will be the one left standing?" Many spectators below watched the battle without blinking, their eyes glued to the two beautiful girls fighting. The audience was also tense. Finally, as the dust gradually settled, the first person who could be seen standing was Sa Shaoling. She stood proudly, the wind blowing her two long pigtails. However, her face looked a bit tired. The MC hurriedly shouted, "It's Sa Shaoling! She's still standing in the arena!" Then suddenly his voice dropped. Wait a minute! At the same time, Xiaoling showed signs of not being well. Her eyes rolled up and her face turned purple. Xiaoling fell like a broken doll to the floor. The one standing tall and victorious was Qingju. The MC was also very surprised by this situation. So Xiaoling collapsed from exhaustion. Liu Qingju is still standing tall. Just with martial skills, she completely overwhelmed Sa Xiaoling, who is also a martial disciple. 9 Dan and awakened a king-rank bloodline, truly worthy of being a once-in-a-century genius girl. Qingju didn't say much, wasn't arrogant, but in the end, she was the winner. She glanced around at the cheers and admiration of the audience. Announcer Liu Qingju wins below. On the forum, there were countless comments and discussions from viewers. Damn, Goddess Liu is too strong, such an idol. I declare she is the Anqing top scorer. Who objects? Whoever says she's the top scorer, do you know what her bloodline is? Tier 4 Nether Sparrow. What kind of Tier 4 bloodline monster is this? Most martial artists can't even fight her. So the selection of contestants for the qualifying round was over. There were now enough people for the quarterfinal draw. Announcer. Next is Lu Sheng Ancheng number 1 for the draw. He went up and drew like everyone else. This time Lu Sheng drew a ball with the letter A. He raised his hand and said, A. Just as he realized his result, another student friendly approached Lu Sheng and said, Me too. A. It seems we'll be facing each other. This big, strong male student grinned widely as he introduced himself to Lu Sheng. I'm Shen Guang Qingfeng Private School. He briefly replied, Lu Sheng Ancheng number 1. Although they were opponents, Shen Guang didn't show any arrogance or dislike for his opponent. On the contrary, he was very friendly, pointing to the arena and inviting Lu Sheng. We're the second match. Let's watch them fight first. At the same time, the announcer, quarterfinal match 1, Luo Xi Qingfeng Private School versus Chuzhou Ancheng number 1. On the screen, a student exuding a powerful aura with abundant spiritual power holding a sword stood before his opponent, who was trembling and beaten black and blue. Shen Guang knew this person and said, Luo Xi is very strong. He's a repeater student this year, focused on getting into Huadu. He has mastered his awakened bloodline, but against that Chuzhou, he's still helpless. Lu Sheng was surprised. Chuzhou, looking at the somewhat familiar face. Shen Guang said, Yeah, from your school and you don't know him. At the same time, the announcer, Ancheng number 1 High School Chuzhou wins. At this moment, the principal of Qingfeng Private School was so furious he went crazy. He gritted his teeth, clenched his fists, and suppressed his voice. Damn it, lost right from the start. The deeper into the rounds, the stronger the opponents seemed to be. Lu Sheng turned and asked his new acquaintance, How does Luo Xi compare to you? This person didn't answer immediately, just smiled lightly, then scratched his head shyly and said, Compared to me? Heh, I'm the president of the 12th grade martial arts club at Qingfeng. In terms of combat power, those two teammates combined can't beat me. Now he glanced at Lu Sheng with some hesitation and said, Actually, in this exam, I think you are the strongest opponent. I've had keen senses since I was young. I can sense Lu Sheng like a dormant volcano with a giant beast hidden within him. This young man seemed not simple. After clearly stating his concerns to Lu Sheng, and when the battle ended, he spoke to him very cordially. Let's go. It's our turn. Very quickly, both of them were on the arena facing each other. This time, they were real opponents. Announcer, the 8 strongest contestants promotion round second match. Now facing each other, Shen Guang and Lu Sheng. 4 eyes met. The two smiled faintly. They understood each other and each other's abilities. It seemed this match wouldn't be simple. It looked like an evenly matched battle. Announcer, quarterfinal match 2. Shen Guang Qingfeng Private School and Lu Sheng Ancheng number 1. At this moment, the announcer broadcasted, The Ancheng University entrance exam quarterfinals are unfolding dramatically. It seems this opponent is not ordinary. Facing Lu Sheng, and the two are still fighting fiercely. The energy field generated by the force between Shen Guang and Lu Sheng was so powerful that it seemed to make the entire stadium explode. Then the MC said into the microphone, Lu Sheng and Shen Guang are evenly matched. The spectators below were all affected by this power. They had to use their hands to shield their bodies to avoid the pressure. Shen Guang, while trying to hold back his opponent, noticed drops of blood flying in the air. He realized nosebleed. Is this his bloodline ability? Then Shen Guang tensed up, clenched his fists and faced Lu Sheng, his face dark and full of killing intent, saying, How strange you can directly attack down to the cellular level. As for Lu Sheng, he was also in a defensive stance thinking about his opponent. Shen Guang uses martial qi to create a barrier that blocks radiation martial arts. Truly miraculous. Thinking this, he looked up at Shen Guang with a long, faint smile, his eyes shining, not afraid to show the interest in his heart. This guy before me is indeed a monster worth conquering. Immediately after, Shen Guang unleashed a powerful ability. A terrifying source of qi erupted from Shen Guang's entire body. From Shen Guang's sturdy palm, he struck out a powerful blow. A rather large fire snake appeared. It opened its venomous maw, hissing out a fierce gas with high damage. Shen Guang said, "Then let me show you the Shen family's traditional martial arts." He loudly announced the technique, Form Intention Fist. Two large, glowing, and fierce punches like a mad bull clenched and rushed forward to attack Lu Sheng head-on. Facing this powerful suppression, Lu Sheng was indeed a bit flustered. He thought so fast. This protagonist seems to have not anticipated this. In an instant, Shen Guang brought that fierce fist straight down onto Lu Sheng's chest. He couldn't dodge this power and took it head-on. Lu Sheng's body bent like a mantis shrimp. The announcer exclaimed, "So strong, one-blow Superman!" Lu Sheng hit for the first time. Now taking a direct punch, Lu Sheng coughed up blood on the spot, his face pale. The announcer continued, "He's coughing up blood. That's enough to show how formidable Shen Guang's Form Intention Fist is." Even after taking such a strong punch, Lu Sheng still refused to give up. He propped himself up with his hands on the floor, trying to endure. His legs scraping against the ground was enough to show how strong his resistance was. Still not stopping, Shen Guang rushed forward with the strength of many demonic beasts. His eyes lit up, and his punch also gathered a lot of spiritual power. Shen Guang shouted loudly, "Where can you run?" Behind him was an incredibly ferocious black bear. Shen Guang's large body was even more enhanced in strength. Having just endured a fierce punch, Lu Sheng now had to continue to resist the black bear demonic beast. Spiritual power radiated out, swirling and spreading widely. In this moment of resistance, Lu Sheng gathered all his strength to hold on, trying to buy time. He thought Shen Guang is not only attacking physically, but also integrating martial ki. Causes double damage. Previous opponents were all mediocre, with no experience fighting strong martial artists, unable to fight head-on. What's stranger is that Shen Guang's ability can also make his attacks flexible. His attacking arm wrapped around Lu Sheng's back. Our protagonist was still bewildered by this strange move. Quick as lightning, Shen Guang teleported his entire body behind Lu Sheng. He tightly gripped Lu Sheng's neck, hugging him close to his large body, and said, as if reading Lu Sheng's thoughts, "You guessed half right. I not only inject martial qi into my body, but also lock your martial qi, making you unable to use martial skills." After speaking, he delivered another extremely powerful blow, sending Lu Sheng flying far away. In this match, Lu Sheng was continuously taking a beating from Shen Guang's powerful attacks, equivalent to many different demonic beasts. Before Lu Sheng could even hit the ground, Shen Guang, extremely fierce on the arena, immediately lunged. This posture revealed the power of a fierce tiger. The incredibly determined and ferocious tiger lunged to attack, opening its sharp-toothed maw. In midair, Shen Guang lunged to give Lu Sheng another knockout blow. He coughed up blood on the spot, a long trail of blood flying high. Shen Guang's punch successfully and devastatingly crushed An Cheng's hope. This wasn't enough. Shen Guang then spread his arms and lunged like an eagle, spreading its large wings, his whole body exuding an incredibly terrifying aura. Shen Guang opened his mouth wide, flying forward with the triumphant aura of an impending victor. Shen Guang shouted loudly, "Lu Sheng, you can't beat me!" Lu Sheng at this moment raised both arms in front of him to continue defending. He hurriedly shielded himself, not even having a chance to think about counterattacking. From high above, a powerful pillar of spiritual energy slammed down. It was like a devastating massacre. Upon contact with the arena floor, rocks and earth exploded, sending everything flying. Shen Guang was friendly, but his strength was not. Now, after the dust completely cleared, Shen Guang's large figure stood with his arms crossed, laughing loudly, "Ha ha ha! That was great!" At the same time, the announcer, "Shen Guang's continuous attacks leave Lu Sheng unable to defend. Medical staff are preparing to enter the arena. If it were an ordinary martial artist, they would have lost half their life from those continuous attacks. It seems the result is clear. Shen Guang of Qingfeng Private School will..." However, before the MC could finish his sentence, there was a sound from within the cloud of dust. Just when he thought he had almost won, Shen Guang glanced over, noticing this small movement. Then he had to lean back and exclaim, "This aura is so strong." In front of Shen Guang, where Lu Sheng had fallen, a dark and extremely massive source of energy erupted. This pressure exploded very powerfully. Many evil auras emanated from behind the thick, dark dust cloud. A demonic beast's foot appeared incredibly sharp and sturdy. Lu Sheng had to transform his own profession to be able to face Shen Guang. His entire body seemed to be wrapped in a layer of tough gorilla armor. His eyes flashed with an incredibly terrifying energy. His whole body accordingly exuded immense pressure. After successfully transforming his body, Lu Sheng, in a new super cool interface, looked straight at his opponent with glowing eyes and acknowledged, "You are very strong, Shen Guang. Your reward, the first person to see this form of mine." At the same time, the announcer's voice rang out. A high school student, if transformed into a demonic beast, can also be specially exempted from the Huadu entrance exam. Unexpectedly, besides Lu Qingju Ancheng, has another unexpected bloodline genius. Lu Sheng is so tough. Shen Guang was flustered. Cold sweat broke out all over him as he stammered. Is that a demonic beast's true form? Lu Sheng slowly took step after step toward Shen Guang, who was trembling and terrified by this pressure. A powerful bright blue aura erupted from Lu Sheng's entire body. Wherever he went, the pressure spread. Shen Guang trembled. Your awakened bloodline has reached such a high level, the MC said into the announcer's microphone. Each judge has monitoring headphones to track the contestants and other factors. An old master also felt uncomfortable with the sound coming from his headphones. Suddenly his eyes widened in shock as he looked at the system panel in front of him, displaying a radiation index of 9999999. The old master, as if unable to believe it, said, "What's going on? The radiation has exceeded the limit." The announcer, concerned it would affect the competition, read loudly and clearly. The judges detected a problem after seeing Lu Sheng's demonic beast true form use martial chi to envelop the arena to prevent nuclear energy leakage. The people in the stands buzzed with discussion. Is this Lu Sheng's awakened bloodline so cool? Does anyone know what bloodline he awakened? I study at number 1 middle school. I heard it's an unnamed bloodline. How can it be unnamed if it's this strong? Lu Sheng, seeing everyone's completely reversed reaction from the beginning, was utterly amazed. He glanced with extremely arrogant eyes and thought to himself, it seems Blue Star doesn't have gorillas. Currently, Lu Sheng's opponent was very confused. Shen Guang looked fearfully at the blood he had just wiped from his nose and set his mouth full of blood again. My martial chi layer can't block his energy. It seems I can't drag out the fight. Shen Guang immediately erupted with power as well. He displayed his awakened professional ability. Behind him, a fierce red-nosed baboon true form appeared. It opened its mouth wide, roaring, while Shen Guang's body also tensed up his large frame, preparing to counter Lu Sheng. The announcer's voice rang out, another King Rank Tier 3 bloodline. This exam is full of masters. Combining the power of the baboon with the fire punch of the serpent. Shen Guang pointed straight at Gorilla Lu Sheng. He was calm, not rushing to dodge, directly confronting Shen Guang's strongest attack so far. Lu Sheng also enhanced his strength, and a lot of spiritual power radiated out in opposition. He shouted his martial skill. Shen Guang continued to charge confidently, hoping to end the match. Before he could gather his full force, the power from Lu Sheng's attack overwhelmed Shen Guang. As it neared his face, its pressure slammed back entirely into Shen Guang's face. As he lunged forward, he was hit by a barrage of moves and abruptly stopped. Shen Guang looked at his arm dripping with blood, his face turning purple, and said, "Ah, my arm. If I hadn't dispelled the force in time, my entire arm would have been shattered." Just now, so arrogant, now utterly humiliated. His combat strength was now weakening, and he was still suffering from the pain of his arm injury. Lu Sheng, with the same powerful aura Shen Guang had at the beginning, stepped forward arrogantly and said bluntly, "You are very outstanding, but unfortunately you can't change the outcome." Announcer. In this university entrance exam, quarter-final match, a King Rank Tier 3 bloodline has appeared. And on the other side is a demonic beast bloodline so strong it cannot be identified. What a rare sight. Both contestants on the arena have displayed their professional abilities. Shen Guang frowned, observing his opponent and analyzing carefully. After awakening his bloodline, Lu Sheng is so strong he's unfathomable. I probably can't suppress his martial chi anymore. Now the only way is to temporarily retreat. At this moment, Lu Sheng lunged forward with a powerful aura emanating from him. He tensed his front claws and said, "Hey, big guy, stop daydreaming." Immediately after, he launched a continuous barrage of powerful punches at Shen Guang's large body. Lu Sheng used too much force. Shen Guang couldn't stand and fell. Taking advantage of the time to counterattack, Shen Guang launched his twisting, writhing punch forward. Externally, it emitted extremely powerful spiritual energy. Using the flexibility of the attack, Shen Guang tightly gripped Lu Sheng's firm gorilla arm, surprising him. Then, using Lu Sheng's own arm as a fulcrum, Shen Guang cleverly spun around behind him. He was preparing for an extremely fierce blow. Shen Guang said, "As expected, I can't pull you down, but my goal is to get behind you." At this moment, he gathered momentum and jumped. A second later, a large foot appeared right above Lu Sheng's head. It was stomping down with incredibly powerful force. However, Lu Sheng just looked up, startled, without a hint of fear. Immediately, Shen Guang from above delivered a powerful stomp, as if wanting to crush his opponent. The figure that appeared was a large foot. It could be said that the arena was heavily damaged after this blow. After executing it, Shen Guang landed on the ground, still exuding a fierce aura. But at this moment, his eyes widened as if he couldn't believe it. Lu Sheng was standing imposing before him without a single scratch. Lu Sheng's eyes lit up. He stood with his arms crossed, looking very dignified. Then he just gently pulled his slightly sunken foot out of the damaged part of the arena. Lu Sheng said in a low, very dangerous voice, Next, it's my turn. Immediately after, Lu Sheng raised his left hand and gathered a great amount of force into it. Lu Sheng's hand glowed intensely, drawing in a lot of surrounding energy fields like a storm. At this moment, just as he was about to rush forward to meet the attack, his opponent knelt straight down and surrendered. Seeing this attitude, Lu Sheng was startled. Immediately, Shen Guang kowtowed before Lu Sheng. He didn't dare to look up and said, "Brother Dai, I surrender, big brother, I'm ready." Right now, Lu Sheng's head was full of question marks. Then he became extremely frustrated. He seemed to vent, opening his mouth and shouting, "Do you know how annoying it is to be sneak attacked like that? I haven't even gotten to fight yet. This is pissing me off." And so Lu Sheng didn't attack. Since his opponent had surrendered like that, he also let it go. He lowered his hand and the spiritual power dissipated. He said, "Oh, forget it." Then he let out a large mouthful of nuclear energy and muttered, "Suppressing energy is so uncomfortable." At this moment, Lu Sheng also returned to his normal state. He clutched his head and said, "According to the rules, when one side surrenders, the other side has no right to continue attacking." The announcer declared, "The match is over. Lu Sheng from Ancheng No. 1 High School wins." Immediately, the crowd became excited. Everyone pumped their fists and cheered. "Brother Dai is so cool. Brother Dai is domineering. Brother Dai is invincible." On the forums, people watching the live stream made memes mocking Shen Guang. "Shen Guang before the match, I will win. Shen Guang after the match, I couldn't even make Lord Dehua use his full strength. I'm truly sorry." And then super cool images of Lu Sheng flooded YouTube shorts. Everyone cheered, and there was even a Lu Sheng fan club Group 4 QQ account. The first 3 groups are full. Clips compiling Brother Dai's matches. Remember to follow me. This year's exam top scorer is definitely our Brother Dai Liu Qingju, and Chu Zhou are no match for him. At the Qingfeng Private School leadership area, the principal of this school was so angry his face turned purple. He clenched his hands tightly, his jaw tight with anger, and said, "Luo Xi already lost. I bet everything on you, Shen Guang. How could you lose like that?" After Shen Guang sadly returned, this teacher vented all his anger on him. "And you dared to surrender? Do you know how much money we invested in you? You ungrateful wretch. If you don't pay back all the money, don't even think about going to university." Shen Guang didn't answer. He just gently placed his strong arm on the old teacher's shoulder. The old teacher stammered, What do you want to do?" The tall Shen Guang looked down at the teacher's face from above and replied, "I couldn't block that punch. To avoid damaging my foundation, I surrendered. If you don't believe me, you go up and take that punch. As for the school's kindness in nurturing me, I will repay it slowly in the future. But please remember, sir, you cannot threaten a martial artist stronger than you." These words from Shen Guang directly scared the teacher. He pursed his lips tightly and trembled his mouth, stammering, Good. What you say makes sense." Returning to the competition, the announcer, "After fierce battles, the 4 strongest candidates have been determined. Ancheng No. 1 High School has become the big winner, occupying 3 of the top 4 spots." At the Ancheng No. 1 leadership area, the principal was beaming, fanning himself vigorously with a fan. It seems old Liu has worked at the school long enough. It's time for a promotion. At home, Lu Sheng's head teacher was as happy as if he had won the lottery. "Lu Sheng is so good, announcer. Beginning the draw for the semi-final matches." Lu Sheng went up to draw his expression, not very interested. Again. At this time, another contestant also responded, "Me too, A." In front of Lu Sheng was the ice-cold flower Liu Qingju. She appeared before him beautiful and radiant. A moment later, the announcer, "First semi-final match, Ancheng No. 1 internal battle, Lu Sheng versus Liu Qingju." On the forum, many online spectators commented excitedly, "Damn, I've been looking forward to this match for a long time. The most classic battle in the history of the Ancheng University entrance exam. Goddess Liu, go for it. The most anticipated match since the beginning of the exam. Brother Dai will definitely win. Friend above. I think Goddess Liu has the advantage. Currently, she has mastered 2 Xuanhuang martial skills. This alone overwhelmed Sa Shaoling, who has a king-rank Tier 3 bloodline. Her Tier 4 Nether Sparrow bloodline hasn't even been revealed yet. Shen Guang also has a king-rank Tier 3 bloodline, and Lu Sheng was forced to awaken his bloodline. Although Lu Sheng's bloodline seems very high, estimated to be Tier 4 as well, it can't compare to Goddess Liu, who is also Tier 4 and has profound martial arts. Agreed? Makes sense. Announcer, the semi-final match has only just begun, and the audience is already cheering wildly. The atmosphere is about to explode. The referee stood between the two. Both Qingju and Lu Sheng were on the arena. The referee shouted loudly, "Liu Qingju, Ancheng No. 1 High School. Lu Sheng, Ancheng No. 1 High School." The referee squatted low, pointed his arm decisively towards the center, and shouted, "Match start." As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Sheng's entire body erupted with a fierce power. A strong aura filled the surroundings. Dust flew everywhere. So much dust was flying that Qingju had to use her hand to shield herself. She squinted her eyes, looking at him. In front of Qingju, a dark figure appeared with an aura blazing around it. There were even 2 glowing flames on his head. Just starting the match, and Lu Sheng was being so aggressive, Lu Qingju felt a bit outmatched. She was startled and a little intimidated by this power. The light emanating from Lu Sheng shone on Lu Qingju's beautiful face. She stared intently at him. Lu Sheng, I hope you are strong enough. Regarding Lu Sheng's display of power on the arena, the announcer's voice rang out, Lu Sheng versus Lu Qingju, a dramatic semi-final match. As soon as the match began, Lu Sheng released a huge amount of steam covering the entire arena. Lu Sheng's opening move to impress the girl left everyone below astonished, shouting, "What's going on? I can't see anything!" The male MC up here was also very enthusiastic and excited. He slammed his hand on the table, bang, bang, and shouted loudly into the mic, "Liu Qingju, the genius girl of the Liu family. How will she deal with the dark horse Lu Sheng of this year's exam? Let's wait and see." It's Lu Sheng's bloodline awakening again. Looking more closely back on the extremely tense arena, Lu Sheng looked up at his opponent's silhouette, a girl with super smooth curves vaguely appearing in the dust cloud. He thought Liu Qingju excels in martial skills. With those divine skills, no matter how much power I have, it's hard to cause damage, even though I also have a kind of domineering power. However, Lu Sheng still didn't underestimate his opponent. He pursed his lips tightly, analyzing his opponent in his head. This opponent is not only a martial arts genius, but also has an extremely high combat index. The longer it drags on, the more disadvantageous it will be. I must go all out from the beginning, thinking then acting. Lu Sheng flew up, gathering a large amount of energy in his palm, attacking his opponent head-on. His face broke into a wide smile. The light from the attack flashed clearly, showing our man's cunning smile. But Liu Qingju was no pushover. She immediately used her ability, raising her hands to block. Her 2 hands twisted together, creating a solid protective layer. Qingju's eyes narrowed. She thought, attacking proactively. Then I'll defend and then counterattack. Suddenly, Lu Sheng didn't throw the punch he was preparing. He moved at an extremely high speed. His figure could be seen through multiple layers. Then he used his gorilla tail to attack Qingju. Lu Sheng leaned over and whipped his tail at the beautiful girl Liu Qingju's waist. The whipping force was strong, coiling like a wave. Qingju was annoyed and cursed inwardly. So cunning. He dared to trick me. She quickly retreated, spinning around several times to dodge, feeling resentful towards this stinky guy, and muttered to herself. He said he'd use his fist, but he swung his steel tail. Damn Lu Sheng, truly shameless. Then without any modesty, he immediately used his gorilla ability, opening his large maw wide and roaring out a lot of harmful nuclear energy. The aura converged strongly and fully in Lu Sheng's hand. He jumped high, clenched his fist, and bent his body like a mantis shrimp, preparing to lunge and attack the beautiful long-legged girl, Liu Qingju. The battle was being live-streamed. On the forum, many people were watching and commenting. Oh, poor goddess. A battlefield of life and death deception is not shameful. Oh no, that move made the goddess lose her rhythm. Lu Sheng is closing in too fiercely. Liu Qingju has no chance to escape. And now, the little girl Qingju was trying her best to resist Lu Sheng's dominance. The 2 were almost evenly matched. He struck hard, a blow passing her face. Qingju had retreated to dodge. Below the comments, Lu Sheng's martial chi pushed Liu Qingju back. This time she can escape. Just as that was said, Lu Sheng aimed straight for the girl's stomach and delivered a punch, causing her to curl up and endure the blow. The dazzling spiritual power erupting could give an idea of how fiercely Lu Sheng was using his strength. He tensed his body, brought his hands forward, creating a shockwave of energy that blasted Liu Qingju away. Even though he was fighting a female opponent, Lu Sheng played rough. Below on the forum, someone commented, "Don't even think about escaping the claws imbued with martial chi." Successive blows aimed straight at her. Now Lu Sheng raised his hard gorilla claws, his eyes flashing dangerously, not hesitating to provoke his opponent. "It's not that easy." Lu Sheng continued to spin, delivering a powerful blow followed by a swirling energy attack towards Qingju. She had to continuously move back to dodge the damage. His hand clenched, and he grinned triumphantly. Qingju from the very beginning had to endure a continuous assault from Lu Sheng. She was somewhat panicked, her eyes wide as she looked at him. This fear, claws imbued with martial chi. She had just thought that sentence internally, when from Lu Sheng's position another attack lunged towards Qingju. She had to gather momentum, jump, and arch her body to dodge. The force of the blow swept past. Not letting Qingju wait long, Lu Sheng launched another explosive attack. From his position, a fierce energy erupted. It seemed he was preparing for a powerful upcoming blow. Qingju stood firm on one leg, continuously paying close attention to every small action of her opponent. Yet just as she looked up, Lu Sheng had appeared before her from nowhere with a devilish grin. His face dark, his hands clenched, 2 bursts of energy flaring. He said, "Don't run, student Liu." "What? After saying this, Lu Sheng was like an emotionless monster repeatedly delivering blows concentrated on Qingju's large chest. His hands moved like a storm. Only the violent movement of light could be seen. From the beginning until now, Qingju hadn't had a single chance to counterattack. She was trying to defend, waiting for an opportunity. Peeking at Lu Sheng's murderous aura through her narrowed eyes, she had to exclaim in fear, "Attacking so relentlessly, isn't he tired? What monstrous stamina," she thought. The two Xuanhuang martial skills I possess. One is the Liu family's secret art, Illusory Blossom Transformed Shadow, for defense. The other is Primordial Jade Finger, for offense. Liu family's secret art, Illusory Blossom, Transformed Shadow, Xuanhuang martial skill, Primordial, Jade Essence. As long as I can execute one of them, I can escape this overwhelming situation. Unfortunately, Lu Sheng isn't giving me a chance. I can't hold on any longer. I'll be pushed off the arena. At this time, Qingju was still gathering all her strength to resist the terrifying blows Lu Sheng was delivering. Qingju gritted her teeth. She thought reluctantly. Suddenly, on Lu Sheng's fist, a feather unexpectedly appeared. It even had a strange purple demonic aura. He tried to clench his fist tightly to avoid being affected by it. This made Lu Sheng lose his momentum. He looked at it with some concern, seemingly not understanding what was happening. To support Lu Sheng, Qingju used the energy from her eyes, looking forward. One of her eyes had transformed into the dark eye of a wild beast. While resisting, Qingju fiercely said to herself, "I have to use my last trump card." Then came the appearance of feathers, one then two. These feathers were not simple. They carried a source of spiritual power that he could feel was not to be trifled with. Suddenly appearing before him was Qingju's dark silhouette. She had completely transformed into a beast form with two large wings behind her soaring high like a large bird. He looked up, not expecting this. Qingju's hidden demonic beast profession was revealed the Nether Sparrow bloodline. Spreading one left wing, spreading one right wing, Qingju was divine in her Nether Sparrow form, her whole body radiating energy accompanied by a perfect body and incredibly long legs. Even now she was breathtakingly beautiful. The announcer's voice rang out, "Awakened Bloodline." For the first time, Liu Qingju reveals her Nether Sparrow bloodline. Until now she was just holding back, and now is when she truly has a chance to shine. Qingju looked up, glaring at Lu Sheng. She raised her hand, pulsating with power, and whispered with an extremely serious expression, "Lu Sheng, be careful. In this state, I can't control my striking power." Facing this girl's aura, Lu Sheng remained unshaken. On the contrary, he was even more thrilled to be fighting such a strong opponent. He looked at her, sneered, and retorted, "Ah, you say that. That's good, because until now I've only used 50% of my strength." Now, before Lu Sheng could finish his sentence, Qingju had already used her Nether Sparrow ability surrounding his body to weaken his power. Lu Sheng attacked unexpectedly, paused for a beat. Qingju circled behind him, raised her hand forward, creating an extremely large source of energy, preparing for a decisive all-or-nothing blow. But Lu Sheng had anticipated this. Surprisingly, instead of dodging, he spun around, also clenched his fist and gathered his strength to counterattack. His wide-mouthed expression was truly horrifying. No one had ever seen a boy fight a beautiful girl so shamelessly. The two contestants on the arena faced each other directly. Two people, two hands, two powers. They rushed at each other as if deciding life and death. The force of their two blows was incredibly terrifying, shaking the entire large arena. Everyone wanted to be the winner. The aftershock from the clash of two terrifying powers also affected the audience below. They screamed in chaos. "So terrifying! The tremor is so intense! I can't open my eyes!" "Ah! Boom!" A loud explosion echoed throughout the area. After everything gradually settled down, all that could be seen was Qingju using both hands to shield her face, not daring to look forward. Only when she thought everything was no longer dangerous did Qingju dare to look up. The girl's eyes widened as if she had seen something terrifying. Lu Sheng in front of her had also transformed his form. He was dark, with his body structure changed. His limbs had turned into those of a demonic beast. Nuclear energy radiated all around him. Lightning gorilla. It exploded, spreading everywhere. His epidermis had been replaced by the iron armor of a gorilla. He stared straight at Qingju's face with his shining eyes. There was even a glowing source of energy in his mouth. The battle was unfolding incredibly fiercely and captivatingly. At the spot where protagonist Lu Sheng was standing, he emitted a powerful energy that burst out like lightning. Announcer. The college entrance exam semifinal. A dramatic confrontation. This made the beautiful opponent in front of him fearful. "This energy wave is too dangerous," the announcer continued. "What's going on? It seems Lu Sheng's demonic beast true form is accumulating energy. Lu Sheng transformed into a new form, and even more surprisingly hard. Gorilla scales grew on his back. It emitted nuclear energy. The arena floor shattered beneath his feet. The MC noticed the feature on Lu Sheng's back. flat, large scales carrying a lot of powerful fire and electric energy. The protruding spine on his back is absorbing a huge amount of energy and is gradually transferring it to his mouth. Lu Sheng transformed into a gorilla, his mouth seemingly torn open, releasing an extremely large source of energy from within. On Lu Sheng, there was no longer any sign of a human. He crouched down. Lu Sheng used his ability by releasing a pillar of power from his mouth. It swirled and shot straight towards Qingju. Many dazzling shockwaves emanated from around him. The massive pillar of energy headed straight for Qingju. Facing this, her entire body seemed to be held in place because its speed of effect was so powerful. Her large wings were paralyzed. She couldn't even run. So Qingju used her own 2 wings to envelop herself. She hunched over, just hoping the blow would pass. Inside the feathery layer, Qingju was very worried, and it showed clearly in her eyes, which were full of spiritual power. The momentum of the pillar of power Lu Sheng shot out continued unabated. It was enormous and utterly terrifying, attacking the small girl Qingju. As soon as it made contact with the long-legged girl's wings, the point of contact sprayed out streams of radiation directed outwards. Qingju was using her awakened bloodline, Feather Shadow counterattack. Qingju's feathers were falling off in large numbers. Observing the intense match, the announcer's voice rang out. Not good. Lu Sheng's breath is being refracted by the feathers on Liu Qingju's body. If Lu Sheng struck directly, Qingju would be no match. Many people below turned purple with fear due to the impact on the audience. On the stands in front of them, many spots of light suddenly appeared like lamps. They had the shape and structure of a brightly glowing golden honeycomb. These shields completely and effectively resisted the energy field Lu Sheng emitted. His power clashing with the shield layer immediately caused explosions. Boom shields were present in many places, ensuring the safety of everyone watching the match. The person who created these shields was Huang Qing, the mayor of Ancheng. This man was elegantly and handsomely dressed, his entire body using internal energy to maintain the safety of the match. He looked up towards the match and said, "Just watch. The strongest top scorer in Ancheng's history will be born today." Above, people were unceasingly excited. Countless people cheered and clapped like ocean waves. The handsome MC with gelled hair roared into the microphone. Thank goodness. Thanks to Mayor Huang protecting the audience. Returning to the arena, drops of red liquid dripped onto the floor. This liquid was flowing from Qingju. Having taken the full force of Lu Sheng's power, the girl looked battered. Her wings were torn and soft. Only shreds of her outfit remained on her body. Qingju was extremely exhausted, coughing up blood. She looked at him and struggled to say each word. He, with just one blow, broke my nether sparrow defense. Can I win against him? A whisper echoed back. From a young age, Liu Qingju had to bear a heavy responsibility on her shoulders. For many past generations, Liu Qingju, you are the hope for the revival of the Liu family. You are not allowed to lose. The ancestors of the Liu family for generations are watching you. Don't let us down. She always had to try to appear strong, but inside Qingju was just a weak little girl. In her heart, she always remembered her mother's words. Qingju, mother, devoted all her efforts to train you precisely so that one day you can revive the family. You are not allowed to be willful. Qingju was never allowed to make her own decisions. The little girl was always weak. Mommy. Those words still rang in her ears. Not just this match you must win. In the future, you must always win. Qingju struggled to whisper, But mother, I can't breathe anymore. Her helpless eyes looked up at her opponent in front. She whispered to herself, I'm so tired. Lu Sheng stood strong and imposing before her. His eyes and demeanor showed that he was a winner. Qingju told herself, Lu Sheng is really strong. Then she looked at her own battered state. Qingju's spirit began to become unstable. Facing such an opponent, losing is normal, right? She decided to fight to the end, dragging her injured body and gathering her strength to fight Lu Sheng. As Qingju rushed forward, she thought, I intentionally revealed an opening. Lu Sheng will surely realize it, right? Finish me off, because if I lose this match, I can't go back and face my family. Qingju wants to die right here. She flew forward and delivered a light palm strike to Lu Sheng's chest, giving him an easy opportunity to end her miserable life. But Lu Sheng didn't act. Qingju was completely surprised. She looked up at him and asked, Why didn't you dodge? Lu Sheng looked down with a dignified expression. He asked emotionlessly, Student Qingju, why has your fighting spirit disappeared? Seen through by Lu Sheng, Qingju was startled. She widened her eyes and looked at him. Lu Sheng's gaze was intense and extremely angry. His face darkened. Do you really consider me an opponent? Instantly, his entire body erupted with a dazzling gorilla power, summoning it into his fist. He opened his mouth wide and clearly enunciated each word. I don't want to win this top scorer title in such a cowardly way. Facing him, this beautiful face also froze. Deep within her eyes were many hidden sorrows and fears. What was happening before her was unceremonious. Lu Sheng, like a monster, rushed forward, swinging a powerful fist at Qingju's face. She was completely helpless, covering her face with both hands. He punched Qingju to wake her up, then turned back, his voice harsh. "Wake up!" And then a continuous barrage of kicks and punches rained down on the ice-cold flower. Whap! Are you going to get serious? Whap! Are you going to get serious? Whap! Qingju fell, continuously taking punches. Unable to bear it anymore, she screamed, "You despicable person! From childhood till now, no one has ever dared to hit me like that!" Qingju covered her head, enduring the blows. While being hit, she tried to shout, "I already wanted to let you win. Why are you still relentlessly pursuing me?" Her endurance had surpassed its limit. Liu Qingju seemed to erupt with hidden power. A massive energy field shot out from all around her, carrying incredibly dangerous destructive power. Qingju exclaimed, "Don't hit a girl in the face, you bastard!" Only then did Lu Sheng finally stop. His two pupils lit up. He looked at her, smiled faintly, and said, "That's right. If you don't want to be hit in the face, then wake up." It seemed Lu Sheng had successfully helped his opponent break through to the highest level of her profession. Her current form was even more radiant and powerful than before. Her wings had also recovered. They were even larger. A high-damage aura radiated all around her. New interface. Demonic beast. True form, full power. She glanced with breathtakingly beautiful eyes and said, "Lu Sheng, as you wished. I will use my strongest stance to defeat you." Currently, Liu Qingju had transformed into her peak form. Her wings spread wide, radiating a powerful and imposing light. He looked up and had to gasp in admiration at her dominance. Lu Sheng smirked. His eyes lit up, even more stimulated seeing her like this. "So you're finally revealing your demonic beast true form, huh? This is what makes it interesting." Lu Sheng very quickly activated his gorilla form mode. He tensed his body, and his entire body and every cell transformed into a layer of sturdy scales. Blue fire blazed all over him. Lu Sheng smiled with satisfaction because he was about to have a good fight. He continued to open his gorilla mouth wide. Lu Sheng began to gather chi and excitedly shouted, "In that case, I can't be careless either." Qingju was like a plump prey. After Lu Sheng had made it delicious, he jumped in to devour it. He very quickly leaped forward, the force from under his feet, pushing off like an explosion. Noticing Lu Sheng's attack, Liu Qingju turned to look with dangerous eyes. She was thinking of a way to counterattack, not able to sit still and wait for death. Instantly from Qingju's position, the little girl gathered a vortex of terrifying energy. It very quickly drew in energy, extending out like a tornado. The aura radiated with dazzling brilliance. Just as Lu Sheng flew in with his power, the tornado like a funnel enveloped him. Gorilla Lu Sheng flew in with terrifying power, a thick layer of aura and dust billowing, but his eyes were still fixed on the long-legged Qingju. At her small, cute, pursed mouth, she gathered herself, took a breath, then opened her mouth wide, releasing a powerful energy field. Shockwaves emanated from it. Qingju fought with her entire puffed-up body. Qingju released the strongest energy within her. It clashed with the gorilla nuclear energy that Lu Sheng was directly lunging with like a rocket. The two forces collided, causing the entire area to tremble. At this moment, as the sound waves from Qingju's mouth swept towards him, Lu Sheng reacted extremely quickly. He raised both hands in front of his face to resist. His eyes narrowed behind his sturdy arm. He retorted to this display, "You think you're the only one who knows how to roar." Instantly, Lu Sheng gathered energy into the large scales along his spine. Many nuclear fire sparks glowed as if about to overflow from being overcharged. Liu Qingju faced this move for the second time. She raised both hands to her forehead, preparing to counter, and said, "It's that old trick again. This time I won't back down." Then she loudly declared, abandoning defense, deploying the Liu family's ultimate technique. At Qingju's temples, a classic power erupted. It flashed so brightly that her beautiful face couldn't be seen, only her perfect body levitating in the air with energy surging. Qingju's spirit was different now, and she resolutely shouted, "I will fight you head-on!" Just as Qingju was preparing to receive the blow, the pillar of nuclear energy from the gorilla's mouth had already shot straight towards her. Lu Sheng tensed his body, trying to make it longer. At the same time, Qingju flexed her impressive assets and tensed her body, gathering an orb in her hand. She focused all her power and shouted, "Bloodline force!" The glowing orb in her hand instantly transformed into many arrows. They grew larger and shot towards the target in front. The two powers were about to clash again. But did you notice anything, folks? Lu Sheng was exhaling a somewhat strange cylindrical energy, while Qingju looked like a hand reaching out to grab. The battle was very exciting. Below the stands, no one could sit still. The announcer's voice boomed. Lu Sheng's atomic breath and Liu Qingju's netherblood thorn formed two fierce shockwaves. People clenched their fists, stood up excitedly, and shouted in alarm. "Not good! This kind of power collision is not something two martial disciples can control." To support the terrifying battle below, the mayor of Ancheng had to use his power to protect the safety of the viewers. Huang Qing summoned power to his two fingers, muttering, "Gene technique." 3 large barrier walls were erected to resist the explosive power of the 2 contestants. This time the large wall slammed down, causing the earth and stones to crack. But the contact energy of both, as soon as it was released, shattered even such a thick wall in an instant. After the 2 attacks gradually subsided below the stands, people couldn't help but be horrified. What a terrifying tremor! Was that wall just now created by the mayor? They looked at the barrier wall, now destroyed with only a few scattered pieces left, enough to understand the terrifying attack the mayor wanted to prevent. If the mayor hadn't intervened, perhaps all of us would have been affected. Huang Qing, seeing the wall he created so easily destroyed, pondered deeply. 3 layers of earth vein god walls prepared too hastily, not as sturdy as usual. In the end, to let Lu Sheng's and Liu Qingzhu's attacks clash directly. Who would have thought this year's exam would produce 2 contestants far exceeding expectations? Returning to the arena. Qingzhu's slender, weak hand was dripping with red blood as if water was pouring. Cough, cough. She had returned to her normal human form. One hand was severely injured, bruised, and purple. It was completely mangled. The girl was hunched over her body, weak and battered in the cloud of dust. Qingzhu struggled to speak. "Ha! My demonic beast true form's power is also exhausted." She looked up with unyielding eyes. The situation was beyond saving, but she still said, "I can't give up. I can still fight." Lu Sheng stomped 1 foot hard on the arena floor, appearing before her. He had also returned to his normal state but showed no signs of injury. In contrast to him, Qingzhu's clothes were barely covering her and her right arm was mangled. After resolving to fight to the best of her ability, Qingzhu looked at Lu Sheng with great confusion. Clearly my attack also hit him. Why is he unharmed? On this side, he looked down at the battered Qingzhu and said, "If the radiation on your body isn't removed in time, you'll be crippled in the future." His words proved that Lu Sheng attacked, but still left her a way out. Qingzhu bit her lip tightly, trembling. Then she looked up, her eyes wide, tears streaming down. Poor Qingzhu retorted, "I didn't want to fight to this extent. Why do you keep forcing me?" Replying to Qingzhu, he gently sat down, looking at the girl's face from top to bottom, observing first without saying anything. A moment later, Lu Sheng was strangely kind. He lost his flippant demeanor and spoke to her very seriously. "Do you really not want to fight, or are you stubbornly refusing to admit your desire to win? When you were fighting desperately, I sensed your craving for victory." Hit right in her heart. Qingzhu stared blankly at him. She couldn't say anything more. Her small mouth just trembled. "Ah," Qingzhu thought to herself. "He's right. Just now I really wanted to defeat him, so I abandoned defense and used all my strength. But what am I doing? I clearly hate fighting and wanted to lose quickly. Yet in that moment of battle, I truly felt the exhilaration of fighting for myself, not for anyone else." While her mind was in a strong internal conflict at this very moment, Lu Sheng's warm hand gently placed itself on Qingzhu's shoulder. Qingzhu blushed and looked up. Strange thoughts about the guy who had beaten her black and blue suddenly filled her mind. So this is what a gentleman is like. He beat me up and now he's responsible for healing me properly. Lu Sheng channeled energy into his arm. While doing so, he said, "In battle you carry too many distracting thoughts." Qingzhu was stunned. When he was done, the girl's arm had returned to normal. He turned his back and said coldly, "That's why you failed." Qingzhu looked at her hand in amazement. The wound and the radiation on his hand have all disappeared. To Qingzhu, Lu Sheng wasn't arrogant like the others. He still acknowledged her, and even added another sentence, "But you are still the strongest opponent I've ever met." Lu Sheng turned his face, looked down, and gave a slight smile, continuing, "Next time, if there's a chance, I'd really like to have the purest battle with you." Liu Qingzhu, this made the young girl's heart flutter. Her face turned as red as a tomato, her eyes sparkling as she looked at him with open adoration. Lu Sheng. And now Lu Sheng stood in the middle of the arena. He won 1 round, making everyone completely convinced. Announcer. The dust gradually settles. It's Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng is still standing on the martial arts stage. He raised his arm straight up to the sky, accompanied by his familiar cunning smile of victory, the focus of the entire stadium. Announcer. The first semi-final match concludes. Lu Sheng from Anchang No. 1 High School wins. On the screen, the image of Lu Sheng's next opponent appeared. Announcer. After Lu Sheng defeated Liu Qingzhu, Chuzhou also, as expected, won his match. Chuzhou, the final of the Anchang High School entrance exam, the biggest climax, the battle for the top scorer, is about to begin. Anchang No. 1, Middle School's dark horse Lu Sheng, versus also from Anchang No. 1 Middle School, Chuzhou. The number of live viewers was starting to increase at a dizzying rate. Increased by 69,842,156 people. Increased by 1047,486 people. Increased by 525, 486 people. Increased by 6,258 people. Total live viewers, 496, 588, 741. The on-Cheng entrance exam now begins. Chu Zhou took a low stance, one hand in front, one behind, raising his sword which surged with energy. His sharp eyes glanced at Lu Sheng. Please enlighten me. In response to this cool entrance, Lu Sheng gave a long, dangerous smile, already preparing his energy, glaring at his opponent with great excitement. Bring it on. Chu Zhou was the first to strike. He began to swing his sword, performing techniques to gather energy, then leaped up to attack. Chu Zhou struck with a powerful high hand. His blow emitted a powerful force. 7-star stepping movement. In response to this move, Lu Sheng still stood there motionlessly. He crossed his arms, his whole body emotionless. All the power from Chu Zhou's attack concentrated on him. He tensed both arms strongly, then channeled energy inward. Lu Sheng opened his mouth and shouted, "Atomic!" Accordingly, a surging energy like burning fire erupted. He shouted loudly, "Fire cannon breaking fist!" He bent low, slamming both hands hard onto the ground. At the point of contact, Lu Sheng's atomic energy completely shattered Chu Zhou's 7-star stepping movement. The shockwave flew out powerfully, suppressing all of Lu Sheng's combat force. It was too strong. Chu Zhou on this side couldn't stand firm. He used his hand to shield himself to see clearly, his hand holding the bright saber, his mouth saying, "Too lazy to find my clones, always using a simple, crude method to blow away all the clones, huh?" As an opponent, not to be underestimated. Chu Zhou was extremely tense and analyzed his opponent clearly. My defensive power basically cannot contend head-on with Lu Sheng, or rather among those of the same age who can fight Lu Sheng one-on-one. What a monster. Immediately after, he focused his fighting spirit, raised his hand, and then his expression changed. His eyes changed color. "If I can't fight at close range, then I'll fight you from a distance," Chu Zhou shouted loudly. Bloodline awakening. Just at the beginning, Chu Zhou had already awakened his bloodline. His true form was a divine dragon. It was enormous and had an incredibly ferocious interface. Chu Zhou's entire body also changed. His hands and head deformed. Immediately after, he gathered energy in his hand. Chu Zhou displayed his ability, waved his hand, and shouted loudly, "Ice Demon Dragon Bloodline Force Ice Vein." The live stream viewers witnessing this commented excitedly, "Damn, Chu Zhou actually created an ice mountain. This kind of ice is truly the Ice Demon Dragon reincarnated, and Chu Zhou is so handsome." In an instant, the arena had turned into a giant ice mountain. Vaguely, Chu Zhou's figure was hovering facing Lu Sheng. People commented even more enthusiastically on the forum, cheering him on to defeat Lu Sheng, the Great Demon King. "Go, Brother Ice." The announcer's voice rang out. Chu Zhou's ice power is so strong it turned the entire arena into an ice mountain. Lu Sheng is sealed in the ice mountain. The situation was that the entire ice mountain Chu Zhou created had completely covered his opponent, Lu Sheng. The entire stadium seemed to tremble. Now Chu Zhou felt his body wasn't quite right. He had one eye closed, one eye open, only daring to whisper in his mind. Suddenly erupting with such strong ice power has taken a heavy toll on my body. The situation was very exciting. The announcer's voice rang out. "Everyone look, the ice mountain is starting to melt." In front of Chu Zhou, the ice mountain he created was being gradually melted by Lu Sheng, revealing his figure with a large energy at his mouth. And immediately after, that terrifying nuclear energy pushed out a large pillar, successfully destroying the ice mountain. Completely surprised by Lu Sheng's counterattack, Chu Zhou was also terrified. He widened his eyes as if he couldn't believe it and exclaimed in his heart, "How is that possible?" It was broken so easily. Immediately after, that terrifying energy was rushing back to attack Chu Zhou. He quickly waved his hand, creating an ice mountain to defend. Boom. A terrifying explosion occurred. Everything was obscured by energy and dust. After everything gradually settled, a gorilla foot stepped onto the floor. Lu Sheng said, "Your Ice Demon Dragon's power has no effect on me." He had also transformed into his awakened state, but Lu Sheng was completely unharmed by his opponent's previous attack. He stood proudly before Chu Zhou. "It seems I counter you 10 out of 10 times, huh?" Clearly understanding that Lu Sheng's strength was extraordinary, Chu Zhou let out a long sigh. He fell silent. The difference in strength is too great. Then, regaining his fighting spirit, he looked at Lu Sheng with an annoyed expression and said, "Lu Sheng, take my final move. This move is my ultimate martial limit, which I originally wanted to save for Liu Qingzhu." At this moment, Chu Zhou wanted to defeat and win at all costs. He pushed his hand high, concentrating all his strength into his large sword, successfully executing the technique, Sword Intent of Grief and Death. Chu Zhou tensed his body and roared madly. The catalytic force erupted fiercely. Below in the stands, Huang Qing, observing the match, also had to acknowledge Chu Zhou's strength. This is Sword Intent. He's so young and already has such strength. Returning to the arena after Chuzhou had loaded enough energy into his large sword, he jumped high and slashed his hand down, attacking Lu Sheng. Boom! A loud sound erupted, shaking the entire stadium. A moment later, many drops of red liquid dripped onto the arena floor. Lu Sheng raised his thorny hand before his eyes. Blood dripped from his hand. He said, "Wait until you get a better sword, then you might have a little chance." It was unknown what Lu Sheng had done, but Chuzhou's face had turned purple. He absolutely couldn't believe he was so pathetic. His mouth trembled. Ah! But below on the ground, the large sword from before had been shattered. Chuzhou couldn't help but be horrified in his mind. My sword is broken. Then he switched to a nonchalant state, his eyes glancing at Lu Sheng with utter disgust, asking, "How much of a chance?" Again that smile that pricked the conscience. Others were falling into an abyss while our man was chuckling and said, the chance is probably just a little better than those peeping toms." Just by saying this, Chuzhou could gauge his own strength. He raised his hand straight up. "I surrender." And so the battle ended rather gently. The announcer's voice rang out, "Anqing entrance exam, Lu Sheng wins." He stood there scratching his head in embarrassment, the victor. Behind him was dust and a heavily damaged arena. Until now, those watching the match via live stream exploded. "Wow, I really didn't misjudge you. D is awesome. Chuzhou is also strong, but in front of Lu Sheng, he's nothing." Images of Lu Sheng's victory went viral on social media. People went there to praise him. "Brave little calf. 68,743 likes. Lu Sheng, this dark horse is truly black to the very end." Until now, this year's exam, as expected this time, Imperial Capital University won big. Die is awesome. Not only that, but images of Lu Sheng were also plastered on all billboards in the city. People were buzzing on the forums. "I heard last year he was at the bottom, and this year he defeated the top one to become the top scorer. What a comeback. Congratulations, Lu Sheng, top scorer Lu Sheng." The standard of this year's exam is far beyond previous years. The top scorer can defeat a crowd to win. Lu Sheng naturally became the strongest top scorer in history at that time. Not even anyone could surpass him. In returning to the stands, people cheered continuously. They couldn't contain their emotions, especially the students of Anqing. "Wow, Lu Sheng, Lu Sheng, Lu Sheng." At this very moment, the MC and Huang Qing had also come onto the stage. The MC pointed at Lu Sheng and shouted proudly, "Currently, my loves, through the live broadcast of the 24th Anqing exam. After 3 days of bloody battles, our Anqing exam has produced its martial top scorer. That person is Anqing number 1, middle school's Lu Sheng." As for our protagonist now, he smiled shyly, scratched his head, and muttered to himself, "Goal achieved." Immediately after, the handsome MC held the microphone close to Lu Sheng's mouth and asked, "Student Lu Sheng, I heard your abilities were acquired through later advancement and accumulation. Now that you have achieved the top scorer's seat, do you have any words you'd like to share?" He was startled, a little tense, and thought to himself, "What a cultured person. Even someone as unrefined as me, he can phrase it so tactfully." At this moment, regaining his composure, our man smiled and said into the microphone, "Ahem ahem. First, I must thank my teacher. When I was at my most difficult, he didn't give up on me, encouraged me, which made me regain my will." In another development, his head teacher hugged the TV, tears and snot streaming down his face, exclaiming, "Oh my, honestly, I don't deserve your praise, Lu Sheng. As a teacher, I didn't do well. I didn't pay attention to his potential. I'm truly sorry." Lu Sheng, looking tense, said, "Also, I want to—" Before he could finish his words, in front of him at the teacher's section, the principal was waving his hand, signaling to him continuously. Lu Sheng was startled and thought, "The principal." The teacher on this side made a hand gesture for a number 1 and a number 2. The principal thought to himself, not daring to say his intention out loud, 2 million. Lu Sheng announced that our Anqing number 1 middle school will reward you with a 2 million scholarship. Seeing the amount, the principal was gesturing. 2 words clearly appeared in Lu Sheng's eyes: money. He quickly said into the mic, Oh, I also want to thank my beloved school. Thank my dear principal. Without your wise leadership, how could we be where we are today?" Then he punched his hand into the air, full of enthusiasm. "Finally, I want to thank myself. Without my own efforts and intelligence, I, Lu Sheng, would absolutely not have the glory of today." At this very moment, a system notification appeared. "Congratulations to the host for achieving the title of Top Scorer, Reward 1 Random Ability Draw." Just seeing it, his eyes widened, his pupils unconsciously lit up. Inside, Lu Sheng felt a thrill and exclaimed, "Top scorer title? So there's even an achievement system, huh?" In the stadium hallway, after winning the top scorer title in the exam, Lu Sheng ran as if being chased by a dog. Behind him, a swarm of reporters pursued him like bees to honey. "He's out, Lu Sheng. Do you feel any pressure after winning the top scorer position?" "Lu Sheng, how could you improve so quickly in just half a year?" "Lu Sheng, are you planning to go to Huadu University?" As for him, he was trying to speed up to escape these people. Stop chasing. I need to pee. Even though he was about to wet his pants, one man wouldn't let him go. He caught up to Lu Sheng and shoved the mic into his mouth, asking immediately, Lu Sheng, do you think Liu Qingju or Sa Shaoling is prettier, or do you prefer Shen Guang or Chu Zhou? But our Lu Sheng kept his mouth tightly shut, not saying a word. His face darkened, his expression grave. Then he quickly ran away, muttering, No time to waste on these reporters. The reporters rushed forward, but couldn't catch up, regretfully calling after him, Lu Sheng, wait. Lu Sheng, one last question. Scene changed to the basketball gymnasium. After running his pants off to escape the reporters, Lu Sheng had run here. He clenched his fists, a thrilled expression on his face, saying to himself, Ha ha, finally escaped them, so the template isn't unique, and I can draw more from system rewards. While immersed in his own happiness, suddenly a dark shadow appeared nearby. This dark shadow spoke, Lu Sheng, congratulations on winning the top scorer position. Lu Sheng turned around, extremely startled. He thought to himself, more reporters. But appearing before Lu Sheng was not who he thought. This man politely took off his hat, holding a mysterious briefcase in his hand, and gave a friendly smile, greeting first, Don't misunderstand, I'm not a reporter. I'm from Huadu. Then looking straight at Lu Sheng with a very serious gaze, he said, Now let's talk about your gene lock issue. Facing this man, our Lu Sheng was a bit perplexed and flustered. He didn't answer immediately, but exclaimed in his mind, not understanding gene lock. Only then did he cautiously think, I haven't unlocked any genes. My abilities are all thanks to the monster template. He knows my abilities. Who is he? He was very curious about this mysterious man. Facing Lu Sheng's silence, this man remained very calm, slowly putting his hat back on and continued, The term gene lock. You heard it from your father, right? Lu Sheng replied immediately. Yes, he thought to himself. According to the original owner's memory, that's correct. Then, this man took a folder of papers from the black briefcase and said, Lu Sheng, aren't you curious? How could an ordinary taxi driver like your father know a term completely unrelated to his profession? Hearing this, he glanced to the side, beginning to doubt reality. Could there be a hidden master? That man took the still-sealed document folder and held it out in front of Lu Sheng. Because of your special case, Huadu can declassify a document. He quickly took the document folder. Before even opening it fully, he hurriedly read. It stated, Prometheus Research Institute, once the leading gene research facility on Blue Star. But due to an incident, it was hunted down and blockaded by various countries. Many core personnel had to change their identities and hide among ordinary people. Gene lock technology was Prometheus's key project. Reading this, Lu Sheng finally understood why these people had come looking for him. He gave a mischievous grin and thought to himself, So you guys think my father was a high-level researcher at Prometheus and I'm their secret product, huh? Seeing that Lu Sheng still hadn't said anything, the man from Huadu approached him and added to reassure him. It's okay. The country won't make things difficult for you. I came just to let you understand the situation because you're involved. At this, Lu Sheng replied immediately, Big brother, I'm calmer than you believe it or not. This man even blurted out more about Lu Sheng's current situation. Furthermore, you are a key subject of national interest. We will protect you. Hearing this, our man's eyes showed that he felt it was okay. The man from Huadu hadn't even finished speaking when Lu Sheng started to narcissistically pick his nose, thinking about himself. How troublesome. The more famous you are, the more trouble you get, ha ha ha. This society is so pragmatic. And just like that, he laughed loudly in the middle of the gym. Looking up, the man from Huadu said softly, Then I'll take my leave. Then Lu Sheng put his hands together and bowed respectfully to the man from Huadu. But hidden behind that hand was Lu Sheng's craving for powerful abilities and his ambition. The grenade finally left. This exam was a huge win. Not only did I get into Huadu, but I also received a 2 million scholarship and 800,000 in prize money, but most importantly, I get to draw a new template. Just thinking about it made his whole body tingle with excitement. Lu Sheng pointed his finger, summoning the system. He couldn't wait any longer. Immediately after, a swirling circle of spiritual power appeared in front of Lu Sheng. It looked like a mystic realm gate. He stood there, looking up, his eyes glued to it. He seemed to be mesmerized by that light, unconsciously opening his mouth. Oh ah! Then the system displayed a panel. Inside was a circle with many energies swirling around, emitting a mystical light. At this moment, the entire room seemed to explode. Levitating in front of the small Lu Sheng was a supergiant humanoid with a strange appearance, like a human skeleton's face, with many layers of smoke billowing from the outside. System display. Supergiant humanoid template. Rank S. Ability Titanization 60 Ming. High heat vapor. Evolved form Primordial humanoid. Compatibility 1%. Lu Sheng pursed his lips tightly, looking at what he saw before him, and said, Supergiant humanoid, huh? Then, as if remembering something, his eyes widened. If combined with the Tyrant Gorilla template, abilities between models can overlap. If the Supergiant Titan model combines with the Berserk Gorilla Demon King model, what will happen? More clearly appearing before Lu Sheng was a giant titan combined with a gorilla. It was tall and mighty with a long tail. That form made him realize, I'll become a true king of monsters. Scene changed to another place. A large man was sitting in a dark room on the phone with someone. The voice on the phone said, "Brother Fire Dragon, do you mean you won't be taking any more missions from now on?" The man calmly replied, "Yes, cancel all schedules." The other side replied respectfully, "Yes, I understand." On the table there was a dent from a physical impact. This man then pressed his large index finger hard on his rugged face. This person was extremely angry, his eyebrows furrowed and his mood very unpleasant, seemingly trying to suppress it. Someone, as if from outer space, called to report, "Unfortunately, we couldn't find your younger brother's body in the mystic realm, but at the place where his signal last disappeared, traces of radiation contamination were found." And the person in the mystic realm was directly transmitting information to this man while he was watching Lu Sheng's match. At this time, the man fell silent and whispered, "Little brother, I told you not to get involved with the underworld. Why didn't you listen to Mom? She told me to take care of you." On the TV screen, the results of the Ancheng final match were announced. Lu Sheng wins. The man showed great interest in Lu Sheng on the screen. He got closer and held the TV as if wanting to pat Lu Sheng's head. Lu Sheng is truly a rare genius of Ancheng. Huadu will definitely fight for him, but unfortunately they won't be able to wait for him to enroll. Returning to Lu Sheng's neighborhood, someone delivered a package to his house. Lu Sheng's package. It seemed Lu Sheng was practicing martial arts. He hurried out to get the package. Who would send something when I'm about to enter the mystic realm to test a new template? He pulled out the letter. On it was written, Lu Sheng. According to Huadu's investigation this afternoon at 3 o'clock, a new mystic realm rift will open at Hongfeng village on the outskirts of Ancheng, predicted C rank. I plan to explore it. Want to come along? Signed Chuzhou. After reading the entire letter, Lu Sheng made a shiver-inducing expression, his mouth contorted in disdain. No way. In this era, people still use handwritten letters. Or is he also a transmigrator scene change to Hongshu Mountain Ancheng? This place was beautiful and majestic in its own way. Many people had gathered here together. Not just many, but very, very many. Everyone was preparing their fighting spirit to the fullest. Lu Sheng arrived here, his face pale at this level of crowd. So many people. At least 1,000. A new mystic realm is indeed attractive. As soon as he appeared, Chuzhou had noticed him and approached. Lu Sheng also replied politely, "Oh, Chuzhou, is that you?" As soon as Chuzhou saw Lu Sheng, he smiled brightly. "You've gotten stronger again, haven't you?" As for our Lu Sheng, he forced a friendly smile as if startled by something while thinking to himself, "Unexpectedly, this guy is so sensitive. I used the scholarship money to buy a few gene potions and raised my compatibility to 35%. Low-grade templates also have the advantage of quick effects." Then Lu Sheng started a conversation asking, "Which school are you planning to apply to?" Chuzhou closed his eyes, not looking at him, and replied succinctly, "Huadu." Hearing that, Lu Sheng then said, "So we'll still be fellow students in the future." Lu Sheng also astutely noticed that Chuzhou's mood was somewhat off. At this moment, a crack appeared in the sky. It opened a new space gate. Everyone looked up at it and excitedly shouted, "The mystic realm is about to open!" Right at that crack, in space monsters emerged. They mutated into heads with many sharp wriggling teeth trying to squeeze out, and now appearing before everyone was the body of the monster, a three-headed vulture. It spread its wings and flew out to attack the crowd. A martial artist below excitedly pointed up, calling everyone to claim the monster's life. "The mystic realm is open, brothers. Let's go eliminate that demonic beast, enter the mystic realm." At the same time, many martial artists rushed forward, each gathering energy and unleashing attacks on the monster simultaneously. They surged forward with imposing momentum like an army. The vulture was like a fragrant fatty cake being torn apart by many people. Its three heads fearfully chirped to each other. "Oh crap, this is terrifying. Why are there so many martial artists? Let's retreat quickly. Hoo, can't retreat. We're stuck." In an instant, the bird was left with only a few feathers. It had been beaten to a pulp. The poor bird continuously chirped, It's true, birds that appear early are easily beaten by people, and so the opening monster was easily eliminated. Inside the Hongshu Mountain mystic realm was a strange, desolate forest. The trees here were also different. The people from outside quickly flooded in, and Lu Sheng was one of them. His demeanor was dignified and unhurried. While walking, a scent suddenly wafted past Lu Sheng's nose. Lu Sheng muttered, "The smell of blood is so strong." Then he quickly realized, "It's a beast tide. This beast was already here waiting for us." All martial artists, according to national law, prioritize killing demonic beasts and resisting the beast tide. Accordingly, many mutated monsters with skull-like heads but fleshy bodies, and much demonic power enveloping their bodies, leaped to attack the martial artists. The newcomers also eagerly rushed forward, and all of them were ready to fight powerfully, gathering their energy, shouting for a bloody battle. It was quite simple to fight the swarm of monsters. Just after engaging, a martial artist could already slash off the head of a large monster, and they also cooperated skillfully to jointly eliminate larger monsters. Chuzhou was one of them. He enthusiastically wielded his sword, his sharp eyes behind the icy sword, his mouth opening, bloodline force atomic burst fist. Then he unleashed a powerful sword strike aimed straight at two lunging monsters. This blow created an ice mountain that slammed into their bodies. At this moment, one monster wanted to attack Chuzhou from behind. It had already opened its mouth wide to snap at him. Someone shouted, "Atomic explosion fist!" Instantly, a beam of light pierced through the monster. In a flash, it became a puddle of exploded gore in the air. Many of its internal organs flew out. Chuzhou had to use his hand to shield himself. It turned out the one who had just assisted Chuzhou was Lu Sheng. He successfully saved Chuzhou's life. He said, "You have to be careful behind you." Chuzhou turned around gratefully. "Thank you so much." Currently, the swarm of monsters had been completely wiped out. On the ground, only their bones and red gore were scattered. Lu Sheng said to Chuzhou, "None of the demonic beasts in this mystic realm know how to fight." Chuzhou saw the things behind Lu Sheng and was extremely terrified. He exclaimed, "Lu Sheng eliminated so many demonic beasts without losing." Looking at the mess right behind him, Chuzhou couldn't help but be horrified. It seems the demonic beasts he killed, their flesh and blood were all dissolved. He uses radiation over a large area which is hard to block, and what's more, there's no movement. Even more terrifying is directly attacking the creature's cells. Wherever Lu Sheng goes, his nuclear energy is released, destroying all creatures there. Lu Sheng is like a demon of destruction in this place. Everyone focused their attention on Lu Sheng displaying his talent, unable to hide their surprise. Heavens, how can he fight so fast? Could it be that among them there's a high-level martial artist assisting? No, among them is the top scorer of our Anchang University entrance exam. University top scorer? Isn't that just a disciple? He's only a beginner. Martial disciple, yet he has such monster-killing ability, huh? Hey, do you have the live broadcast of this year's entrance exam? That's right. What's so interesting about students' brawls? You fool, 10 of you combined couldn't beat those students. And so Lu Sheng successfully became the focal point for everyone to stomp on monsters. Soon after, many martial artists gathered in front of him and called out, "Lead the demonic beasts towards the top scorer." A moment later, many shouts echoed from the front. "The leader of the beast tide has been defeated. We won." The beast tide is starting to retreat. After finishing, Chuzhou, sweating, let out a sigh of relief. Phew! At least we survived the first beast tide. At the beginning, more than 1,000 martial artists had gathered. Now, only about 800 people remained, not to mention the injured. Just as he said this, Lu Sheng was already struggling with many large bags of monster cores, carrying them towards Chuzhou. Lu Sheng even tiredly complained, Phew, Chuzhou! Tell me, with so many, how can I collect them all?" Chuzhou was also terrified by Lu Sheng's greed and asked, "Why did you take so many demonic cores, huh?" Then he kindly offered a ring. "This is my spatial ring. You can put your things in here first." Lu Sheng grinned with delight, as this was exactly what he wanted. A spatial ring. The price is up to tens of thousands of gold. It seems, Chuzhou, my friend, you are truly a genuine tycoon. At this time, someone announced, "Boss Wu Sen and his group are here." Both Chu and Lu Sheng turned to look in the direction of the voice. These people hurriedly told the newcomer about Lu Sheng. Luckily, he went to kill those leading demonic beasts. Otherwise, we would have died of exhaustion in the beast tide long ago. Many people looked up at this new figure with admiration and awe. He was taller than ordinary people and notably had many tattoos on his body. As soon as he arrived, he spoke first. "Hello, I'm Wu Sen, the top scorer of Anchang University's entrance exam. I'm the captain of Anchang's Silver Wolf team." Immediately, he approached Lu Sheng and proactively extended his hand to shake and befriend him. "I just heard from the team members about your heroic deeds. I wonder if you're interested in joining our martial arts team." Lu Sheng looked up a bit surprised. Many people witnessed this direct invitation from such a highly regarded figure and were extremely excited and happy for Lu Sheng. "If you join, it won't affect your university studies. On the contrary, you will receive many different kinds of preferential treatment. I, Wu Sen, am willing to accept you as an S-rank member of the team." Boss Wu Sen himself is inviting Lu Sheng to join the martial arts team. This is a heaven-sent opportunity. If you don't have the support of a martial arts team just relying on yourself as a martial artist, it's hard to maintain the expensive career of a martial artist. Not to mention, in Xia country, the Silver Wolf Group is considered a large and powerful martial arts team. Furthermore, if you're an S-rank member of the group, even students of Huadu University wouldn't have the qualifications to have the same. At this moment, a girl riding a black tiger approached. This girl was dressed seductively and exuded a powerful aura that could intimidate others. She spoke up. Wu-sen, I was saying, how did you get here so fast? So you ran here to snatch someone first, huh? Then she turned to look straight at Lu Sheng and very seriously expressed to him, Student Lu Sheng, join our Chengdak martial arts team. Although the Chengdak martial arts team is a bit smaller in scale than the Silver Wolf martial arts team, I dare to guarantee that after you join, you can enjoy 15% of our martial arts team's monthly cultivation resources. This made the human-powered camera's onlookers even more agitated. She continued to speak loudly among many people to establish credibility. Ha ha ha, it's also in my data. It seems that achieving the top scorer of the entrance exam is not that simple. Faced with enthusiastic invitations from strong team members, Lu Sheng still deliberately ignored them. He picked his ear, looking in another direction. Sorry, but for now I have no intention of joining a martial arts team. Then he shook Wu Sen's hand. However, Wu Sen was also very polite and respected him, saying, It's okay, Lu Sheng. This time is mainly an opportunity to make friends. If you have any requests in the future, you can always contact our Silver Wolf martial arts team. The girl from before also spoke up. Our Chengdak martial arts team is the same. We're always ready to help. Lu Sheng, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, replied frankly, Although I'm not joining, making more friends is also good. But Wu Sen wondered, You just used that hand to pick your ear right. Our Lu Sheng was acting up again. Don't mind it. At this time, Chu Zhou approached Lu Sheng and said, The beast tide has been pushed back. Now we can explore on our own. This is a supergiant forest. First, let's climb a tree to observe the whole area, then we'll discuss a plan. He simply replied with 2 short words, Okay. As soon as he finished speaking, both of them leaped up and flew off quickly. Chu Zhou was also astonished by Lu Sheng's speed as he couldn't keep up. So fast! A moment later, both of them stopped on the red-leaved treetops. Chu Zhou's eyes widened as he looked ahead, completely terrified. What the heck is that? From a distance among the large trees, monstrous figures dozens of times larger than those trees could be seen. They were taking step after step towards the two of them. In the mist, the top scorer and runner-up of Ancheng, small in comparison, stood in a corner and spoke. Such a colossal figure, it must be over 1,000 meters tall. It's hard to imagine. Contrary to Chu Zhou's concern, Lu Sheng was like a gleeful madman. The harder the challenge, the more he liked it. He grinned from ear to ear and said, It's not that hard to imagine. We're still young. In a few years, it's not impossible for us to conquer demonic beasts in mystic realms like this. We might even be able to clearly understand the truth of the mystic realms. Seeing this expression on Lu Sheng's face, Chu Zhou couldn't help but acknowledge, worthy of being Lu Sheng when faced with powerful existences that I don't understand, I feel a sense of fear. But Lu Sheng has the confidence to defeat it. He compared himself to Lu Sheng and only dared to think to himself. It seems not only on the path of martial arts but also on the path of willpower I am not Lu Sheng's equal. Lu Sheng is the true martial artist. As for our grenade, Lu Sheng, he was brimming with power, wanting to kick the asses of those in front of him. Your demonic cores will sooner or later be mine. Then he quickly changed his attitude back to serious. Lu Sheng used sound waves from his temples to scan and check. He was completely surprised. Strange. My life magnetic field can check the distribution of life in this mystic realm, but in the southeast there's an amber-like area. It's like a vacuum, completely white. Something is definitely fishy there. The bigger the waves, the more precious the fish. At this moment, stepping forward, pointing ahead, his expression was no longer the normal Lu Sheng, but a battle-hungry, victory-craving Lu Sheng. He gave an order to Chu Zhou. That's Toakap Lake. Chu Zhou, look southeast. There's a lake there. Let's go there and see. Don't rush to attack the monsters in front yet. The jungle scene was quiet at this moment. Lu Sheng and Chu Zhou were strolling through the forest. Just as he saw the person in front, he greeted them with a beaming face. Sister Yu Li. Do you guys remember? This girl in front is the one who helped Lu Sheng buy gene potions in the early days. As soon as she saw him, she greeted him warmly and said, Isn't this our top scorer, Lu Sheng? I didn't expect you to be so strong. Yu Li's teammate next to her also spoke up very friendly. Oh, Yu Li, you even know the Ancheng top scorer. The girl below also looked up. Yeah, quick, introduce us. Just now, Lu Sheng scattered the mad beast horde. He was so majestic. Lu Sheng quickly approached Yu Li's team and asked, Sister Yu Li, how long have you guys been here? Yu Li also approached Lu Sheng very enthusiastically and said, We just arrived. 2 teammates who are good swimmers are down in the lake scouting. Near the lake, a man's head poked out of the water. He was gasping for breath, his hands gripping the grass in front. This man joyfully exclaimed, We're rich! We're rich! Yu Li asked again, Speak clearly, how are we rich? This young man was also Yu Li's teammate. He happily announced, There are ruins under the lake. We're going to be super rich. Hearing this, Yu Li was overjoyed. Really? That's great, we're rich. On this side, she completely forgot about her rainy day brother Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng curiously poked Chu Zhou with his elbow and asked, What are ruins? Why are they so excited? Chu Zhou also had some understanding and replied to him, In the Mystic Realm world, there are ancient structures, perhaps remnants of a previous civilization. It's said that modern martial arts and gene technology all originated from there. Suddenly, at this moment, Yu Li's teammate's eyes widened. He warily turned and asked, "Are there other people?" He thought they were people with ill intentions towards his group, so he was about to draw his sword and lunge to attack both of them. "Who are you two daring to eavesdrop on our conversation?" Not letting her teammate attack, Yu Li immediately pulled him back with her hand. "Wait. Wu Duang Lu Sheng and Chu Zhou are the champion and runner-up of the Ansheng exam. Their strength far surpasses ordinary martial artists. Let them join us." At this, Lu Sheng put on a cool and dangerous look. He put his arm over Chu Zhou's shoulder and said, "That's right. Don't be rash. We can help explore the ruins." Wu Duang quickly asked about the money first. "Then how do we divide the spoils?" Lu Sheng waved his hand, feigning simplicity. "We're outsiders. We get what we earn." And so Wu Duang had to swallow his anger and turn back. "All right, fine. You can join temporarily. Don't try any tricks." In his heart, he was reassuring himself, the future top scorer and second scorer will become great figures. I shouldn't make enemies with them. A moment later, the whole team dived into the river with Wu Duang leading because he knew where it was. Then, following the river path, it led to a dark cave. The group walked up into the cave. Wu Duang said, "Through this cave is the ruins." Going up, Wu Duang looked around, puzzled. "Strange, where's Li Wei? Didn't I tell him to guard this place?" The hairless young man in Yu Li's team guessed, maybe he found some treasure and went ahead. Previously, Li Wei had been tasked with guarding this cave, but Wu Duang couldn't see him now, so he tried to contact him. "Hello, Li Wei, can you hear me? Hello?" Everyone also tried to keep quiet to listen for any signs. At this time, looking towards the cave entrance, Yu Li worriedly asked, "Do you see any traces of demonic beasts in the cave?" Wu Duang then replied, "Not at all. The demonic beast traps were set, but not a single one was caught." At this moment, the girl in Yu Li's team suddenly became fearful and guessed, "Too dangerous, Li Wei is missing. Should we continue?" Faced with the female teammate's apprehension, Wu Duang was very enthusiastic and determined to find out no matter what. "We must explore ahead. If you don't dare, you'll be a bottom-tier martial artist for life. If you're afraid of death, then scram. If you want to get rich, stay." Faced with these words, his three teammates remained silent. They wanted to, but they were also afraid. Then Wu Duang automatically said, "If no one is retreating, then let's go." And so Yu Li's team continued deeper into the cave, followed by Lu Sheng and Chu Zhou. After walking for a while, Wu Duang shone his flashlight on the ground and found human footprints here. Lu Sheng also saw it. He narrowed his eyes, annoyed, and began to have many suspicions and speculations. Exchanging glances, Lu Sheng wanted to tell Chu Zhou, something's not right. From Chu Zhou's eyes, he also determined that the timing didn't match. Yu Li said, "We've only been here 15 minutes and we've already found such a complicated path. Only you two are clear-headed because you're outsiders and can analyze it." Standing behind Wu Duang, she thought, "It's like he has a map chip." Chu Zhou narrowed his eyes, annoyed, looking at Wu Duang, and was sure it was clearly a trap. But just a few seconds later, Lu Sheng gave a horrifying smile and muttered, "I have an ace up my sleeve." A moment later, Wu Duang led his entire team along with Lu Sheng and Chu Zhou to a place with a lot of moss above and sharp stalactites pointing down. Everyone noticed the moss above. It was tightly bound with many human bones. Wu Duang then said, "The demonic cores are depleted. No wonder there are no demonic beasts." Right behind him, Yu Li narrowed her eyes to one side and asked softly, "Wu Duang, where are the ruins?" Before he could answer, the other girl in the team gasped, her mouth open, pointing speechless. That's... The girl had seen the intact corpse of her teammate bound tightly by the moss. His body was shriveled and drained of life force. Both girls in the team screamed in fear. "Li Wei is dead." Yu Li's face changed color. She also didn't expect something like this to happen to her team. Her eyes widened, glued to the corpse. At this very moment, Wu Duang was only focused on the ruins. He squatted down, clutching his head, and wailed, "Where are the ruins? Why can't I see the ruins?" Then suddenly lumpy tumors appeared on Wu Duang's head. His whole body trembled as if having a seizure, his face turned purple, and his mouth said, "How did Li Wei die? Vines. Vines. I think I'm also..." Before he could finish his sentence, Wu Duang's head exploded. Many seaweed-like tentacles grew from his neck, extending upwards. Yu Li quickly realized and told everyone to run. The remaining members of the team still couldn't believe it. Wu Duang. Suddenly, a dazzling streak of atomic energy shot out. It shone straight through the head with many sprouting tentacles. Wu Duang was completely out of it. Before he could turn into a monster, Lu Sheng had already acted to stop it. His mouth still hot, Lu Sheng said, "I didn't expect demonic beasts to be so smart. They caught 2 martial artists, then used one as bait to control them. We've been led into its lair. Shay. Right above him, the demonic beast's true form appeared clearly after its plan was exposed. Its long tentacles reached out towards Lu Sheng. At the exit, a pile of rocks suddenly fell, blocking it. Everyone panicked. The demonic beast has blocked the exit. It doesn't intend to let us escape. Chuzhou knew this creature. He looked straight at it seriously and said loudly to everyone, "This is a ghost demon vine, a king rank tier 2 demonic beast." Yu Li was very scared. She was bewildered, cold sweat covering her body, her mouth stammering, unable to speak. King rank tier 2. King rank can't be judged by normal ranks. It's no match for us, tier 1 martial artists. With Lu Sheng's arrogant personality, whether it was tier 2 or tier 1, it didn't matter. Energy surged from him as he said, "Whatever rank it is, watch me crush it." Boom! A loud explosion occurred at the entrance. Countless rocks and dust shot out everywhere. From there, a tall, muscular man appeared. It was the man who had observed Lu Sheng before, and he had appeared just in time as he confronted the King Beast Tier 2. As soon as he appeared, this man with an imposing aura walked forward and said, "Lu Sheng, I've come to take your life." Everyone was astonished by this person's appearance and screamed, "Blood Qilingyan martial artist 8 Dan." The older brother of the person Lu Sheng had defeated earlier approached him. Lu Sheng surprisingly turned around and asked with a very calm as a cucumber attitude, "Are there still other people targeting me?" This big-faced guy then explained how he had been following Lu Sheng from beginning to end. "I heard that in the Hongshu Mountain Mystic Realm, someone used radiation energy to fight the beast tide. I knew immediately it was you. Just by following the radiation trail, I knew where you were. To avoid detection, I held my breath and followed you all the way to the cave. I didn't expect you to still discover me. You blocked my way. I stopped my heart and breath playing dead, but you still recognized me. Truly the one who pushed my brother Huo into a dead end." Seeing this man put so much effort into finding him, but unfortunately not knowing who this person was, he turned and asked, "Huh? Who are you, uncle? You suddenly rushed in and said a bunch of confusing things. Do I know you, uncle?" After putting in so much effort to find Lu Sheng for revenge, and now he was acting like this guy flew into a rage. He immediately lunged to attack. "Stop playing dumb, die." He gathered a powerful energy in his fist to bring down on Lu Sheng's head. However, his plan to attack Lu Sheng didn't succeed. Just as he lunged, he was blocked by the demonic beast's tentacles. Both annoyed and helpless, he stood there lost in his own drama, then shouted, "This is the lair of the ghost demon vine. You dared to lure me into its lair and then use a demonic beast to deal with me." Then, filled with resentment, he opened his mouth wide and roared, blaming Lu Sheng. He now seemed to have lost all reason and thought. "Damn it. Is this also your plan, Lu Sheng?" He hadn't even attacked him yet, and now this guy had to struggle with the demonic beast. He was continuously tormented and beaten breathless. The ghost demon vine sucks martial ki and secretes neurotoxins. At this rate, I'll collapse. You dare to trick me? Lu Sheng, standing on this side, didn't know how to explain further. Well, he might as well stand by and watch him deal with the monster. What a rich inner world. Uncle, we just met for the first time. The demonic beast's vines continuously wrapped around him. This guy, annoyed, erupted with energy to end the troublesome things around him. So annoying. My target is Lu Sheng, not these vines. Because this man used too much combat force. The cave shook violently and was in danger of collapsing. Yu Li stepped forward, looking extremely bewildered and worried, and shouted, "Not good, the cave is about to collapse because of the fight." Behind the beautiful Yu Li, Lu Sheng's voice suddenly sounded, "Everyone get out of the way." The girl, surprised, turned to look. It was Lu Sheng once again activating his gorilla form. His mouth tilted upwards and he began to gather nuclear energy. A glowing orb was fully prepared. Lu Sheng hunched over and pushed the energy stream upwards strongly. He was trying to push as hard as possible. The dense energy stream flew out. This successfully caused a large chunk of the stone cave to break off. Rocks flew and water began to pour in. He had successfully created an escape route for the whole team. And now Lu Sheng pointed to one side and urgently said, "Sister Yu Li, everyone go first." At this time, the troublemaker had also dealt with the demonic beast trouble. As soon as he heard that Lu Sheng's team intended to flee, he immediately tensed up, gathered a glowing punch, and lunged to attack Lu Sheng. Don't even think about running. Sword intent of grief and soul. It was Chuzhou's technique. He had swung his sword, creating an ice path straight to Lu Sheng's back, successfully blocking the man's punch. Chuzhou raised his sword, high remnants of ice smoke still on it. He looked at him dignifiedly and declared, "As long as I'm here, don't even dream of touching Lu Sheng." Although Chuzhou intended to protect him, his sword strike was still nothing against this big, burly guy. He cackled and looked down on him. "Ha, little brat! I'm an 8-dan martial artist. What can these ice cubes do to me?" At this moment, Lu Sheng also rushed forward. He was now very anxious to finish off this troublesome old man, As he flew close, he said, "Hey, nosy uncle, where are you looking?" "Nuclear core striking fist." Lu Sheng's powerful fist pushed hard towards his face. He looked up and the punch was already close to his face, so he couldn't react in time. And just like that, he was crushed by Lu Sheng's blow, his whole body sinking into the ground. The light emitted was dazzling, illuminating the entire cave. Not wanting Chuzhou to get hurt because of him, Lu Sheng turned to look at him and said, "You go first. That guy is too strong. You can't deal with him." Then, turning to face the man he had just met, he said with complete seriousness, "Let me handle him." He had taken a blow from Lu Sheng and was also exhausted and staggering. Everyone had followed the direction Lu Sheng pointed and swam back to the shore. Yu Li's group was all safe. The ghost demon vine had gone completely berserk, stirring up the entire bottom of the lake. A moment later, seeing Chuzhou swim to shore, Yu Li worriedly asked, "Lu Sheng, where is he?" He sadly didn't answer, but just turned his neck to look towards the cave under the water, implying he was over there. Returning to the cave, Lu Sheng's shock waves were wreaking havoc. It emitted an incredibly powerful nuclear energy wave after wave. He was tensing up, activating a new form. Lu Sheng, seeing everyone had left, dared to use the new Titan form updated in the system. As soon as he activated it, he quickly used a giant Titan hand to crush the stranger. As a result, before he even understood what was happening, he was unconscious, dropped by Lu Sheng's hand like a mosquito. In just a moment, the big guy floated to the surface of the water. His whole body was purple and heavily injured. Everyone above was also shaken by his shockwaves. Chuzhou seemed to have seen that giant figure. He widened his eyes, trying to look through with great difficulty. But in an instant, Lu Sheng's Titan form had disappeared, leaving only a large frame in a cloud of bone-white smoke, with thunder continuously roaring. Everyone on this side still didn't understand what had just happened. A moment later, he had returned to normal and swam closer to the shore. He propped his hands on the grass, his body naked. As soon as Chuzhou saw him, he immediately ran over, calling, "Lu Sheng, Lu Sheng." At this time, he didn't dare to climb ashore and said, "Chuzhou, lend me a set of clothes." A moment later, he was also dressed and sat down to endure everyone's interrogation. Chuzhou immediately asked, "What was that explosion just now?" Lu Sheng, exhausted, sat down to rest and replied, "It was that mysterious martial artist. He carried a plasma bomb and committed suicide with the ghost demon vine." Chuzhou was astonished. Plasma bomb? Isn't that a banned military item? How did he get it? And I thought the explosion was even stronger than a plasma bomb. But Chuzhou felt something was off. He wasn't easily convinced by this. Then he hesitantly said again, "In the smoke there seemed to be a giant figure." Lu Sheng, afraid of being found out, turned pale, sweated and vehemently denied, "No way. It was just an illusion." At this time, Lu Sheng's face darkened as he thought to himself, "Luckily I got away with it. If they knew about my monster template ability, it wouldn't be good. I acted a bit too harshly, crushing that martial artist. I couldn't loot his belongings, but I got the ghost demon vine's demonic core. With everything done here, he thought everyone should go home. And so he also parted ways with Yu Li's team." She waved goodbye to him. "Lu Sheng will go first. Sorry for making you come for nothing, and even having to save us. When we get out of the mystic realm, we'll compensate you." Lu Sheng was also very polite, and enthusiastically waved back, replying, "Don't be polite, Sister Yu Li. Consider it repaying your kindness for helping me last time. If you compensate me, I'll become the indebted one instead." Now only Lu Sheng and Chuzhou remained. The two of them made dangerous faces, looked at each other, and whispered in unison, "Now it's time for some fun monster hunting." 3 days later, at the entrance of the Hongshu Mountain Mystic Realm, Lu Sheng and Chuzhou had finally cleared this mystic realm. Both jumped out. Both slowly set foot on the ground. Just as they turned around, both were startled and looked up. Impossible. The desolate mountain from 3 days ago had now become a small town. Above them, a large aircraft flew past. Both exclaimed, "In just a few days, it's become a small town, and there are even transport planes." Xia Country's construction capabilities are truly terrifying. Running straight to the exchange counter, Lu Sheng slammed his bag of spirit stones onto the table. The female employee had to remind him, "Sir, please be gentle. If the goods are damaged, it won't benefit you either." Lu Sheng scratched his head awkwardly. "Sorry, but I'm carrying too much. If I don't take it out quickly, it'll be hard to finish checking before—" The woman at the counter didn't mind much and enthusiastically replied, "Please rest assured we are professionals." Lu Sheng let out a sigh of relief. He began to take out the spatial ring on his hand, his mouth even lightly relaxing with 2 words, "Okay then." And so many large bags of spirit stones like the one from before were taken out. He counted 2, 3, 4, 5. Lu Sheng took out the last bag and sighed, "Phew, the last bag." But look around him. The bags of spirit stones were piled so high that even the exchange employee's face turned pale. It looked like she wouldn't be going home today. The girl was still astonished. "One sack after another? Are you a porter here?" She was even afraid that Lu Sheng would take out more from somewhere else. The employee trembling held her clipboard and asked, Sir, have you taken everything out? Then Lu Sheng looked straight at the girl and gave an incredibly dangerous smile. That sharp gaze looked at her as if wanting to force her to hurry up. Done. But you ladies have to be quick. We still have many spirit medicines. At the trading office, the door was open, and there were many bustling voices inside. A group of people was gathered around a table, marveling at the spirit stones Lu Sheng had brought back. Oh my God! This is 7-star leaf, at least 300 years old. This kind of spirit medicine is extremely hard to find. Even professional herb gatherers have a hard time discovering it. What kind of luck does this kid have? He even found 6 harmony grass. This is the main ingredient for refining Chi-Si pills. Just this batch of spirit medicines, even if the quality is poor, must be worth 30 million. The rare types are even more expensive. This martial artist is so lucky, he became a tycoon overnight. Old Shu, are you senile? Finding so many spirit medicines like this isn't just luck. Someone like him should absolutely not be offended. Lu Sheng observed their attitude from a distant corner and said, Now these white and blue cores are useless to me. It's just right to exchange them all for money. He made a dark, dangerous expression, smiled faintly, and muttered, 5 blue demonic cores from Tier 3 demonic beasts during the beast tide, and the king rank Tier 2 ghost demon vine demonic core with golden veins are the most precious. A moment later, the bank payment notification beeped. Bank card, +21, 507, Zhaozend, Yuan. Lu Sheng put both hands in his pockets and leisurely walked out of the trading office, his mouth calculating his next step. Done with the demonic cores. Now to find a buyer for the spirit medicines, and it'll be okay. Suddenly, an expensive Rolls-Royce parked right in front of him. Lu Sheng involuntarily looked around, up and down, wondering whose car it was. Stepping out of the car was an elderly man. He stepped out generously, smiling and saying, Hello, Lu Sheng. I am Li Yutian, the owner of Pinghe Pharmacy. I heard you have many spirit medicines from Hongshu Mountain. I'll buy them at 1% above market price, okay? Lu Sheng narrowed his eyes. His mouth twisted, showing little interest in that trading place, and thought to himself, Personal information isn't kept secret at all. These old guys at the appraisal center are smuggling my information. Well, it doesn't matter. I needed to sell anyway. If someone comes looking for me, it's convenient. Why not? And so he nodded, agreeing to sell. The man who had just bought them turned his car around and drove off in one go, even reminding Lu Sheng, Next time you have spirit medicines, remember to find me. Lu Sheng watched him go, still holding his phone. It beeped. Bank card, +7, 05 Ru, 064 Yuan. Looking at the amount added to his account, he muttered, So much money, yet it's not as good as increasing my personal martial strength by 10%. Individual strength is the truth. Gene potions and white or blue demonic cores on the market are useless to me now. Then he sighed tiredly and began to complain. Humph, my template is even pickier than its owner. High-grade stuff like blood jade fruit or high-grade gene potions I'm not even qualified to buy. Suddenly an idea struck him. Lu Sheng looked up with interest. Ah, they're still this way. Then he reminisced and thought to himself, In the exam, I crushed Liu Qingju completely, thanks to the power of the Tyrant Gorilla template. But in terms of martial skills, I'm far behind those martial arts specialists. So what I need to do now is find some extremely powerful martial skills. Immediately after, he ran at full speed like a mad horse. He continuously accelerated, shouting, Old Dung, I'm here to ask for gold. Scene change to Anchang High School principal's office. A steaming cup of tea was poured on the table. Lu Sheng had gone straight to the principal's tea table. As for the principal, he doted on him like a precious egg, personally massaging Lu Sheng's shoulders and even saying, Lu Sheng, I didn't expect you to still remember your old school. Lu Sheng happily turned around and smiled sheepishly. Principal, don't be polite. The principal kept massaging the shoulder of the school's pride and joy, praising him endlessly. That's right. You are the top scorer, a role model for all of Anchang. While this champion had come here with the ulterior motive of earning more money, Lu Sheng even pulled out a large bottle of ginseng wine. He held it out in front of the principal and said softly, Teach her a little medicinal wine from Pinghe Pharmacy. It's not a bribe, just a small token of respect for an elder. As soon as he saw the fragrant wine, the principal's eyes lit up like car headlights. This expression of his showed he was craving it badly. Lu Sheng is truly a good student, respecting teachers and valuing morals. After gifting the principal a bottle of wine, it was time for Lu Sheng to say what he wanted. Principal, I want to learn some powerful martial skills. Do you have any connections? The principal then said, You haven't entered university yet, so you can only ask martial clans for help. His eyes kept looking at the bottle of wine. You've already been accepted into Huadu. Why not wait until you enter the school? Why the rush? Again, that same pattern of speech, and his eyes sparkled with emotion. Lu Sheng put on an expression of passion and enthusiasm. Principal, I want to improve faster. The principal had to nod. He probably guessed he was cornered. All right, I'll introduce you. Education must be flexible. Lu Sheng even leaned his face close and whispered a few words to the principal. The principal said, "Well said. A flexible person like you, teacher, is a blessing to the education sector." He grinned widely, his eyes showing he was a man of the times. Too much praise, too much praise. Ha ha ha. The next day, Lu Sheng was undressing to shower in his room. Water drenched his muscular body. He was on the phone. Lu Sheng, it's done. You can go right away. It was the principal reporting. Lu Sheng immediately replied, "Thank you, teacher. Which martial clan is it?" Suddenly his eyes widened in surprise and he said loudly, "Huh! The Liu family of Ansheng agreed to transfer their secret techniques to me." Scene changed to the outskirts of Ansheng. A man was riding a motorcycle with a blonde girl at extremely high speed. Both were dressed fashionably and looked very cool. The wind blew the girl's hair behind her like a ponytail. She was a little scared and said to the person in front, "Brother, you're driving too fast. It's scary." "Ah!" The guy with gelled hair turned around, pretending to be even scarier. While they were enjoying themselves, Lu Sheng's voice suddenly caught up from somewhere, reminding them, "Buddy, if you're going fast, focus reckless. Driving harms your loved ones, bringing 2 lines of tears." The young man and woman turned around, startled. The guy in front, annoyed at being interrupted, opened his mouth wide and cursed. "Damn it, are you crazy? You scared me. With that old rickety bicycle, you dare to race me." As soon as he finished speaking, he gripped the throttle tightly. Then both of them ignored Lu Sheng's warning and sped off on the main road, even leaving behind insults for him. "This thing also deserves to ride alongside me." As for the one behind, she was splashed all over and shrieked, "Brother is so cool, so handsome." Lu Sheng looked at them contemptuously. Already annoyed, huh? Lu Sheng glared after them. "Dare to use that tone with Big Brother here, huh?" Right behind them, a large burst of energy suddenly exploded. The young couple in front was startled and terrified, their hearts and hair feeling like they were about to fly out. Who said a normal bicycle couldn't catch up to a motorcycle? Our Lu Sheng here used nuclear energy, pedaling like mad, easily whizzing past those two. He even dropped a line, "Disappear, you flies." The guy behind had to widen his eyes and tremble. And just like that, Lu Sheng rode his bicycle away like a rocket, a long trail of dust billowing behind him. In a few seconds, he was nowhere to be seen. This couple was so scared they were drenched in cold sweat as if they had taken a bath. Neither of them thought they had encountered the strongest martial artist in Ansheng. His voice trembled. "By bicycle! So fast now!" His eyes bulged, staring at the disappearing figure. The girl behind also had to stammer in fear. As fast as an airplane, isn't it?" 5 minutes later, he arrived. Lu Sheng stopped his bicycle and looked up. He was standing before the gate of a large mansion. What a wealthy family. He stood alone before the large gate, marveling. Truly a martial clan. "Let me use my ability to scan the energy here." Lu Sheng muttered, "Even the force field has several terrifying auras." At this time, someone came to open the gate for Lu Sheng. It was Liu Qingju. She stood there waving at him. Her expression was friendly, but she didn't dare to smile and was shy. "You're here." Lu Sheng, seeing this, chuckled and pretended to ask, "Not happy to see me?" Qingju, embarrassed quickly, denied, her cheeks naturally turning red. No, it's not that." This Lu Sheng attacked again. "So you're very happy to see me, right?" Qingju didn't answer, lowered her head and prepared to lead the way. "Mother told me to come pick you up. Now let's go see her." And so Lu Sheng followed Qingju to meet the person he needed to see. Just stepping into the main hall gate, and the grandeur was already visible. Just the gate alone shows incredible wealth. Qingju looked up and called out, "Mother Lu Sheng is here!" On the high stairs, a woman in high heels slowly descended. The woman had wavy, platinum blonde hair, full lips, and captivating beauty. She spoke, "Welcome, child." Lu Sheng. This woman with the beauty of maturity and wealth was Qin Lan, the head of the Liu family. As soon as she saw her daughter bring Lu Sheng, Qin Lan smiled warmly and walked down closer to both of them. All attention was focused on her exquisite beauty. As soon as Lu Sheng saw Liu Qingju's mother, his face turned like a super-fast kettle, his whole body hot steam puffing from his 2 nostrils. This is definitely suppressed lust. In his mind, a craving unconsciously arose. "Prime Minister, I have awakened." Recalling the end of the exam. At the Liu family home, Liu Qingju, after losing the match, returned home and faced her mother, who had high expectations for her. Both were silent for a long time, not saying a word to each other. Qingju looked sad and spoke first to her mother. "Mother, Her face looked like she was about to cry. However, contrary to Qingju's fear, her mother gently waved her hand as if unconcerned and said, "Qingju, don't worry." On the TV screen, Liu Qingju's mother spoke directly about her feelings. Mother watched the live decisive battle between you and the child named Lu Sheng. You performed very well. Lu Sheng's ability even in the Huadu exam would be a dark horse. You don't need to blame yourself. Unexpectedly, her mother acknowledged her and didn't pressure her. Qingju couldn't say anything. She stood there trembling before her mother as if blaming herself for being too weak. At this time, the mother stood up straight and seriously spoke to Qingju about her future plans for the Liu family. Your younger brother's ability is limited. He basically cannot take over the Liu family. In your generation of the Liu family, only you can bear this heavy responsibility. Then she approached Liu Qingju, caressed the beautiful face she had given birth to, and gently said to her, "But you are a girl. Moreover, being born like this." Then she expressed the harsh reality of the current Liu family. Your father died early. Now our Liu family doesn't have a single grandmaster as support. The family's power is declining day by day, to the point where we have to stay in this small place on Cheng. If a great family requests a marriage alliance with you, we basically have no right to refuse. This also means the Liu family will be swallowed by others. 100 years of family business will be offered to others. Therefore, mother wants you two to be together. What do you think? Hearing this, Qingju was truly surprised. She hadn't thought about this. Her cheeks accordingly turned red, and her heart pounded. Then, Liu Qingju's mother seriously continued to reveal her vision regarding her daughter's opponent, Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng is not bad at all. His talent is outstanding, his family background is simple, and his future is limitless. According to mother's observation, he is not a malicious person. You don't need to answer right away. First, just live with him and see how it goes. Returning to the present. Lu Sheng was at Liu Qingju's house, and he was meeting her beautiful queen-like mother. As soon as she saw him, she smiled warmly and approached. Welcome to the Liu family, Lu Sheng. Lu Sheng, embarrassed, bowed his head respectfully. Ahem. Greetings, auntie. I've brought a small gift. So this guy had even thoughtfully prepared a gift to bring to Liu Qingju's house. He was probably trying to suck up to someone. Without beating around the bush, Liu Qingju's mother looked down and asked directly, I heard from the principal of number 1 middle school that you want to learn some advanced martial arts, right? Lu Sheng was strangely obedient. Yes, ma'am. Then she told her daughter, let Qingju take him. This also greatly surprised Lu Sheng. He secretly glanced up and thought to himself, why did she agree so quickly? Then Liu Qingju's mother acted completely natural, walked closer to Lu Sheng, and deliberately created a private space for the two of them. Qingju will take you to the Liu family's martial arts pavilion. It contains martial arts forbidden to be taken outside, therefore you only have 1 day to study in there. Her eyes became stern and completely serious as she looked at him and said, deep within the martial arts pavilion there are 3 sets of Xuanhuang martial skills. Whether you can learn them or not depends on your ability. With the permission of the Liu family head, Lu Sheng also respectfully and sincerely thanked her. He clasped his hands and bowed his head before Liu Qingju's mother. Yes. Then Lu Sheng thanks the Liu family. Bye. She turned her head to look at Lu Sheng, her expression full of mystery, and thought to herself, thanks the Liu family, and not Qin Lan herself. It seems he has given the Liu family a very good promise. Lu Sheng, in the future, the Liu family will let you fulfill your promise. Then she smiled very satisfiedly, looking at Lu Sheng before her. A very smart child. The more I look, the more pleasing to the eye he is. While Lu Sheng just blurted it out, not understanding why this woman had something to do with him. Why does it feel like the way she looks at me is strange? Qingju, noticing her mother's attitude, was also a little puzzled, but didn't dare to speak. A moment later, she led Lu Sheng to the martial arts pavilion. The path led to a dark tunnel. Qingju slowly walked in front, leading the way. Lu Sheng followed closely behind the small, fair figure. Suddenly, he stopped and curiously asked Qingju, Student Qingju, why do I always feel like your eyes are avoiding me? This hit her right where it hurt. Qingju was startled and didn't even dare to turn her head. I'm not... Yet this grenade Lu Sheng jumped right next to Liu. Qingju smiled and said, so shy. Why, being closer to Lu Sheng than before, her face turned beet red, too embarrassed to speak. Then she deliberately tried to create distance from him. Qingju was startled and shouted, You, what the heck are you doing getting so close? Lu Sheng, being cheeky, swayed back and forth, laughing, ha 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 ha. A moment later, Qingju led Lu Sheng to a large stone door. It was a thick stone door. Both looked up. Now Qingju turned her face and said to Lu Sheng, this is a stone gate made of hualishi, a special kind of stone mined from mystic realms. It can withstand the attack of a Xuan martial master level without breaking. Lu Sheng, wanting to try, said, can I punch it once? Yet Qingju still said stubbornly, go ahead and punch it. Her face darkened. In her mind, she was pondering. This guy's idea is strange. Shouldn't he be praising the miraculous nature of this stone? With just Qingju's agreement, Lu Sheng began to gather atomic energy in his palm. It emitted that familiar blue light. He clenched his fist and used great force. Having witnessed the horror of Lu Sheng's attack on the arena as soon as Qingju saw him make that move, her eyes bulged in fear. It's that blue light fist technique again. The terrifying memory is flooding back. Qingju turned away, squeezing her eyes shut, not daring to look. Now the energy was fully gathered. Lu Sheng immediately punched the sturdy gate in front of him hard. The energy from his punch radiated out extremely powerfully, shaking the entire tunnel. It was thought to be a heaven-shaking, earth-shattering blow, one kick that would collapse the entire tunnel. Unexpectedly, as soon as it touched the gate, the energy suddenly dissipated. The air naturally became quiet and surprisingly awkward. Taking the opportunity to laugh at Lu Sheng, Liu Qingju covered her mouth and giggled. As for Lu Sheng, he still couldn't understand. No reaction. How strange. The moment I touched the stone wall, it was like punching the ocean falling into a swamp. More than 90% of the force was absorbed. Qingju behind him couldn't stop laughing. Let's go. I'll take you inside to choose martial arts. In her mind, she thought, hey, Lu Sheng, you also have times when you lose. And so the door was opened by the family head, herself. Both went inside. It was a large secret chamber containing many documents and materials on martial arts. Qingju began to introduce, the martial arts here include movement techniques, defense horizontal training, sword techniques, blah blah blah, and yada yada yada. Then she continued softly to him. Whichever one you want to learn, just take this personal card and open the permission. Lu Sheng immediately asked, where are the Xuanhuang martial skills? She led him to a place with a modern card scanning device and said, in the deepest part of the small stone chamber, you also have to scan your card to enter. Then seriously, she continued to explain to Lu Sheng beforehand, but Xuanhuang martial skills, you can't comprehend them in one day. At most, you can learn a little bit of the basics. I feel that mother opening the Xuanhuang martial skill permission for you isn't necessarily good for you. I can help you choose a few volumes that are close to Xuanhuang martial skills and suitable for your martial skills. It started again. Our Lu Sheng jumped back closer to Qingju and teased her with a few more words. Are you thinking for me? She blushed annoyed and said in her heart, I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. She pointed upwards, trying to restrain herself. Lu Sheng continued. Ahem. You don't need to worry about me. I know myself. If I want to learn, of course, I have to learn the strongest. If the Xuanhuang martial skill is right in front of me and I don't even have the guts to learn it, then I'll just obediently go home. Then he curiously asked, is this door made of black hualishi? Qingju slowly entered the password and replied, of course the Xuanhuang martial skill secret chamber must be kept strictly confidential. This quality of black hualishi is extremely rare. And so, an important gate was opened, allowing Lu Sheng to enter freely. The shadows of the two people stretched long on the tiled floor. Qingju continued to remind him, to collect the stone to build this black hualishi wall, my great-grandfather's generation already started collecting it. Inside here there are many extremely high-grade safes. The outside is gilded and heavily reinforced. Surely on each safe there's a line of text, Flesh Prison Demon. Explaining this, Qingju took the initiative to speak first. Learning Xuanhuang martial skills is not about watching, but about feeling the author's intention conveyed in the martial art. If you can't feel it, or if the martial learner has a conflicting attribute with its meaning, then you cannot cultivate Xuanhuang martial skills. In short, Xuanhuang martial skills are alive. It's not the martial learner who chooses, but the martial skill that chooses the learner. Hearing this, Lu Sheng became even more thrilled. He opened his wide mouth. Haha, Oan, just right, Flesh Prison Demon. I am the heaven-chosen child of this martial art. Gama. And so, a Flesh Prison Demon safe was opened. Lu Sheng's shadow was even more terrifying than the Flesh Prison Demon inside. He stood with his legs apart, hands in his pockets, his eyes shining brightly, waiting. Suddenly that smug expression disappeared, replaced by a worried, trembling face. Xuanhuang martial skills aren't books, but statues. Appearing imposing before him was the statue of a mutated demon monster. It sat on corpses and stepped on the heads of those it had killed. As soon as he saw it, Lu Sheng was instantly intimidated. He was completely stunned, not having anticipated this. Just as he opened the safe door, Lu Sheng's consciousness fell into an illusion. He was bewildered when he saw behind him a statue in the form of Guanyin Buddha, but its face was demonic and one arm was missing. Then Lu Sheng turned his head to look back, looking at the statue with a wary face. Is this the martial fate? Comprehension they were talking about? Could it be that I've entered the world of martial fate, Xuanhuang? Martial skills aren't books, but sculptures. Qingju, hearing him say this, then offered an explanation. Not just sculptures, but they can also be paintings or tools. Anything can become a vessel for martial Tao. That is the miracle of a grandmaster. Lu Sheng, hearing this, was startled and broke free from the illusion, looking over. Only then did she look at him and explain more seriously. Only a grandmaster can condense martial Dao and attach it to an item to pass down to descendants as an inheritance. Saying that Qingju turned away coldly, leaving behind a sentence, "Now it's up to you." Lu Sheng, flustered, turned and asked, "Up to me? Big sister, you haven't even told me how to learn this thing yet." However, Qingju just turned back, looked at him mysteriously, and replied, comprehending fate, "If you have affinity, you will naturally feel it." These words made Lu Sheng even more confused. He was as bewildered as a cow wearing a hat. Huh. Then he switched to tired mode. Lu Sheng, after 1 minute and 30 seconds, collapsed and lay sprawled on the ground, conveniently saying, "Affinity is enough, right? Then I'll take a nap and see." In the surveillance camera room, Qingju also came over. Seeing Lu Sheng's attitude, she couldn't stand it. Lu Sheng, only you would do that. At this time, Lu Sheng still had many jumbled thoughts in his head and was assessing himself. So this martial Dao world is like a spiritual world. Now I don't have a shred of martial chi. Even nuclear reaction-like attacks can't be performed. It's like returning to the weak state of an ordinary person. At this moment, the system appeared. Detected that the host's consciousness is in a special space. To prevent the host from going insane, the system will reinforce the host's spirit. After reading it, he felt a little excited, but luckily there's still the system. Suddenly, at the spot where the statue's arm was broken, the figure of a man exactly like the statue appeared standing right on it and laughed loudly. "Ha! My old man's martial arts can only be inherited by true men, otherwise I'd rather let it be buried under the ground." Lu Sheng turned around, very surprised. He sat heavily up high, then smirked, his eyes shining red, and spoke down as if challenging, "Little brat, prove to me that you are a true man." As soon as he saw him, Lu Sheng was horrified. He was extremely surprised, his mouth agape. This person is exactly like the sculpture. Then a large bolt of lightning flashed between the two. This person continued to speak at length. "When thunder and rain intersect, 100 ghosts will roam the night. At that time you must guard this ruin for me. Do not let the Nodian Kotat statue be defiled by evil ghosts. If you succeed, I will impart to you the skill of watching over this place. If you fail, you will be gnawed by 100 ghosts, your spirit driven mad, never to step onto the path of martial Dao again. If you are a weakling, then quickly run away." A drop of water from the ceiling. From somewhere, a drop of water trickled down, landing right on Yihei's nose. He tilted his head up, smiled faintly, and wondered, is it raining? Following that, numerous drops of water began to fall simultaneously within the secret chamber. Only then did he realize that the trial seemed to have begun. The sound of the rain inside grew increasingly clear and loud. Yihei gripped the sword in his hand tightly, channeling his energy into it. Before him, countless mysterious dark shadows, their eyes glowing brilliantly, swarmed out towards Yihei. He stood tall, facing them without a trace of fear. Yihei's face was cold as he stared at the things before him, trying to regulate his emotions. The slimy black shadows now began to charge and attack Yihei. In his hand, he held a luminous sword. Yihei raised it, ready to confront them. With a smooth swoosh of his sword, Yihei swept through a charging shadow, cleaving it in two. His actions were decisive and powerful. Then he delivered another slash to the side. The glowing slash carried immense force. Yihei remained completely emotionless. The rain continued to fall, and Yihei was in complete control of the situation. He stood firmly, legs spread wide, still looking up with his signature smile. He acknowledged that indeed the trial wouldn't let a martial artist face 100 ghosts bare-handed. There must be hidden tools. The demonic aura was still very dense. Yihei's 2 sword strikes hadn't inflicted much damage. It split into many large arms and rushed to attack him again. Yihei also flew up, surrounded by wind rainstorms and sky-darkening lightning. Yihei was like a dancer, the main character performing a sword dance at the epicenter. Whichever way he moved, the path was cleared. He reveled in his proficient use of the sword, which seemed to enhance his excitement. The man sitting on the roof looked down at Yihei, a smirk playing on his lips as he assessed. "The 100 ghosts in this martial domain trial are parasitic with my old aura. A mere minor martial apprentice dares to venture out from the protection of this run-down place, truly seeking death. It seems this time's trial taker is another piece of trash. Martial artists truly are getting worse with each generation." Meanwhile, Yihei continued to fight relentlessly with the sword in his hand. The ghosts in the black slime swarmed around him. The more fiercely he wielded his sword, the more aggressively they attacked. The man said, "Usually, I personally come to collect their corpses." A ghost seized an opportunity when Yihei's back was unguarded. It lunged with its large mouth and 2 hands to attack him. However, one couldn't trifle with the top graduate of Ancheng. Yihei gracefully sidestepped, causing the shadow ghost to miss. Frustrated, its anger was palpable. Just moments ago, he had underestimated Yihei. Now he was completely astonished, his eyes wide. "Huh! The 100 ghosts can't even get near him." And Yihei seemed to sense it too. Drenched in the rain, he raised his hand and muttered, "It seems that in the spiritual world the system will automatically protect me, making me immune to attacks. What could be better?" Yihei burst out laughing. "This is no different than a tiger growing wings." He then opened his mouth wide, smugly declaring, "Isn't this an invincible golden body? Then ha ha ha." From the man's perspective, he saw Yihei rampaging through the demons, becoming increasingly frenzied, a madness mirroring his own personality. This man seemed to have judged Yihei too hastily. He tilted his head, his face wrinkled in puzzlement. "Tisk, tisk, this brat isn't affected by the martial sound. How did he do it?" Hearing and understanding what the man was thinking as he observed his actions, Yihei smirked, looked up mischievously, and said, "Nothing special, just diligent study and hard training." The shadow form ghosts, sensing he was not an easy opponent, immediately retreated cautiously. This made the man the true form of the statue speak up in acknowledgement. "Well said, diligent study and hard training. Since you've managed to subdue the 100 ghosts, I won't go back on my word to pass on my legacy to you. However, we'll have to see if you have the capability." In the rain, Yihei, perhaps having triumphed over one stage of the trial, gazed ahead. The statue had just shattered, revealing a well beneath it with fragments of the Buddha statue scattered around. Inside the well, a strange, luminous energy pulsed. Yihei stepped up, looked into the well, and muttered. The voice of the man, like the statue's, said, "This well contains the essence of the evil chi I've condensed throughout my life. The inner demon physique technique is also in this well, if you can refine it." Before he could finish, Yihei, with his characteristic fearlessness, had already leaped into the well. The man praised him again and again, his expression unreadable. "Good, good. This is the first time I've seen a junior with such personality. I remember my golden days. I too was a heroic figure who entered an S-rank secret realm. I rose because of the inner demon physique, and I also died because of it. As I aged and my vitality waned, the suppressed evil demons in my body began to rebel, leading me astray, even causing me to kill those around me. To avoid repeating the same mistake, I had no choice but to end it myself. Before dying, I mixed my resentful soul, resentful chi, and martial sound into the statue. Although 100 years have passed, and the evil chi in the martial sound space has dissipated significantly, it's still not something an ordinary martial artist can withstand. If you can subdue this evil demon, you will surely surpass yourself on the path of the inner demon physique." In the camera room, Liu Qingju and her mother were also present, observing Yihei's every move. Suddenly there was a strange development. Liu Qingju looked up startled. She seemed extremely worried for him. On the screen, Yihei was lying on the ground, his entire body enveloped in a layer of aura. Yihei was convulsing. Liu Qingju was bewildered. "Mother, what's happening?" Mother and daughter stood rooted, watching Yihei on the large observation screen. Seeing Yihei's current state, Liu Qingju looked extremely anxious, her eyes fixed on the screen, worried sick for him. Just a moment ago, while sleeping, Yihei was clearly smiling smugly, as if dreaming of something pleasant. But now he was convulsing and even bleeding. Mrs. Liu beside her was very calm. She took a drag from her cigarette and said, "This third Xuan Huang rank martial skill was coincidentally obtained by your grandfather late in his life. He once tried to cultivate it, but unexpectedly, even with his Grandmaster realm cultivation, he was repelled by the martial veneration in the statue and even suffered internal injuries. Since then, no one in the Liu family has been able to master this martial skill." It seemed Liu Qingju was only just learning this. She turned in surprise. Mrs. Liu's gaze hardened as she continued, "If it's extraordinary power, then the way to obtain that power is certainly not something ordinary people can endure." At this point, her beautiful eyes changed, widening and becoming serious. "To wear the crown, one must first bear its weight. Yihei has chosen to accept the power of this martial skill, so then he—" The scene shifted back to the secret chamber. Yihei woke up after a sleep. He sat up stretched and yawned widely, looking very refreshed. This scene was also witnessed by Liu Qingju and her mother. Seeing his adorable antics, Liu Qingju chuckled and said to her mother, "Mother, I don't think Yihei's cultivation is as grand as you described." Seeing Yihei acting dazed, she couldn't say anything more. Inside the secret chamber, everything was done. Yihei stood up and bowed respectfully before the statue. An aura flowed out from the statue, enveloping Yihei. He inclined his head and said in a low voice, "Many thanks, Senior, for imparting your skills." The true form within the statue looked at him with satisfaction and thought, "Brat, you are the most talented I've ever seen. Perhaps you will uncover the truth of the secret realm, a task we predecessors could not complete. This mission is entrusted to you." Behind his respectful demeanor, Yihei smiled, covering his mouth, and thought, "Senior, you've misjudged. I'm just hacking, that's all." Then he loosened his joints. A powerful aura erupted from his entire body. Yihei said, "The prisoner's flesh body. Although my attribute panel hasn't increased at all with this Xuanhuang rank martial skill, my combat power has doubled." From outside, Liu Qingju and her mother opened the door and rushed in. Mrs. Liu, holding her dress, hurried inside. "Yihei, you've mastered it." Liu Qingju also rushed in out of breath. Seeing the two beauties run in, Yihei greeted them affectionately and grinned smugly. Yes, I've mastered it. Mrs. Liu had run so hard that her ample bosom shook violently. Panting, she said to him, "How is that possible? Even with Qingju's talent to preliminarily grasp a Xuanhuang rank martial skill, she had to stay in the martial veneration space without sleep for a whole week. Yeehaw, how long did it take you? Not even an hour. You learned it just by taking a nap." Liu Qingju on the side thoughtfully looked at Yihei, who appeared incredibly carefree and relaxed. She felt both exasperated and admiring, thinking, "Others call me a genius, but the real genius is here." Hearing Mrs. Liu's barrage of questions, Yihei acted aloof, tilting his head and smirking. "It seems you don't believe me. All right, let me show you." With that, Yihei tensed his body, spread his arms, and bent down. Layers of aura enveloped him, radiating powerful energy. This is the killing intent I comprehended from the martial veneration world. If I had to explain, it's like an enchantment in a game which can be applied to my martial weapon, making it more destructive. Saying this, he threw a punch, channeling power into it to show Liu Qingju and her mother. Yi He clenched his fist. It glowed and pulsed with power. Indeed, his strength had increased dramatically. Liu Qingju seemed mesmerized by Yi He, her eyes wide, unconsciously drawn in. She thought, "This feeling is so strong. I think I can vaguely hear the roars of demons. Perhaps this is the killing intent Yihei mentioned." This captivated Liu Qingju's mother on the spot. She looked at him enraptured and sweetly called out, "Yihei, you're truly—" She pressed her hands to her fair cheeks, appearing rejuvenated by Yihei's power. Seeing Mrs. Liu's attitude, Yihei felt smug and thought, "Madam, your daughter is right beside you. Can you maintain some decorum? I don't want to be called a playboy." At this moment, Liu Qingju curiously approached him and asked, "Yi-ha, you've mastered one Xuanhuang rank martial skill. Do you want to try learning the other two? You still have a day to learn." Seeing her daughter approach Yihei as if hypnotized, Mrs. Liu covered her face and thought, "My dear daughter, are you pretending to be foolish? Or are you really that foolish? You say you don't want to be with Yihei, but then you turn around and hand over the entire family fortune to him. Even if we're investing in Yihei, even preparing to accept him as our golden son-in-law, we can't just give away the entire Liu family's assets like this." But in response, Yihei answered frankly, "No need, Qingju. One Xuanhuang rank martial skill is already enough for me to digest for a long time. I won't learn any more." Then he approached Mrs. Liu. "Auntie, I'm a bit tired, plus I have some personal matters to attend to." Hearing this, she raised her hand to her chin in agreement. Mrs. Liu nodded, looked at Yihei with concern, and instructed her daughter, "All right then, Qingju, take Yihei home. I heard from Butler Hong that you came here on a public bicycle. Do you know how to pick a car from the garage? It'll be more convenient." Hearing this, he remembered the two punks he encountered while cycling here. A car. Speaking of which, when I came here, I saw someone's motorcycle that looked really cool, stylish and beautiful. So he looked ahead and excitedly asked, "Auntie, do you have motorcycles here?" Mrs. Liu replied enthusiastically, "Of course." "Yihei, you like motorcycles, just like my good-for-nothing son. All right, I'll give you the best one he has stored away." At this time in the courtyard of Liu Qingju's house, a young man, Mrs. Liu's son, was strolling around muttering to himself, "I heard from Butler Hong that my mother just recruited a son-in-law. I want to see what kind of character he is. My sister is An Cheng's once-in-a-century beauty and genius. Not just anyone is worthy of her." The world is indeed small. The punk Yihei had just raced with turned out to be the son of this household. He was still fuming. "That kid on the public bike earlier was so annoying. He scared my new girlfriend away. Don't let me see him again." Just as he mentioned Yihei arrived. He rode the motorcycle swooshing past the rich young man. The young man was half surprised, half doubtful, then his face contorted as he turned to look at Yihei's retreating figure, stammering, "Wasn't that the guy on the public bike? Moreover, he's riding my motorcycle." Night had fallen. Back at Yihei's apartment, the expensive motorcycle he had just been gifted was parked right outside the door. On the table was a bowl of demon cores. Beside it, Yihei had also prepared a small dish of wasabi dipping sauce. He said, last time swallowing the demon core raw tasted terrible. Then he excitedly picked up chopsticks, licked his lips, and grinned. This time, let's add some seasoning from the soul to enhance the flavor. Yihei picked up a demon core, dipped it in the sauce, and popped it into his mouth as if eating sushi. First, this blue one. The system immediately displayed a notification. Host He composite physique, 23.8 Gorilla Berserker form. Compatibility, 21%. Supergiant transformation. Form compatibility, 85%. Available points. 0. His body was now brimming with energy. Looking up, Yihei said, "The attribute panel has increased, and I can add more points. Last time in the Red Tree Mountain Secret Realm, I used the supergiant transformation form. My height was about 50 meters. Although it was colossal compared to ordinary demonic beasts, it was still too small compared to the mysterious beings as large as mountain ranges in the Red Tree Mountain Secret Realm. He raised his finger to select something on the system interface, frowning and muttering, "I need to get bigger." He allocated all his points to the giant transformation form. Then he took a yellow demon core from the twin-tailed demon vine. Immediately his body reacted. A powerful aura emanated from him. Yi seemed unable to control himself, surrendering to the power surging out of his body. The system immediately notified Gorilla Berserker form has absorbed a special gene sequence from a plant-based creature, triggering a special mutation. Does the host wish to prevent the form mutation? Reading this, Yi's eyes flew wide open in complete surprise. A mutation. Right now he was bare-chested, revealing incredibly well-developed and defined muscles, even more so than before. After completing the system operation, he bowed his head, contemplating. A mutation means the form will change its attributes. If it changes to a beneficial attribute, that's great. But if it's a detrimental one, it's no different from regressing. After thinking for a moment, Yi decisively tapped the screen, shouting, "Screw it, let's gamble." Bicycle transforms into a motorcycle. The system unexpectedly displayed, "Congratulations to the host for unlocking the S-rank isotope model," instantly before Yi's eyes. The image of a massive spiky gorilla appeared with a dazzling light. Yi stared blankly, his mouth agape, unable to remain calm. The system continued to display. When Gorilla Berserker form reaches 100%, there is a 2% chance to class change into Starfall Emperor Gorilla. Starfall Emperor Gorilla. Just hearing the name sounds powerful. At this, Yi grinned, clenching his fist and whispering, "But the current form needs to reach 100%. Looks like I need to level up quickly." Suddenly there was a loud explosion outside the door. Just as he was planning his next move to become stronger, he was startled. Yi turned his head, looking out warily, then glared towards the explosion, his voice low. "What's going on?" "A terrorist attack." Outside on the street, many armed police officers and police vehicles were present. They were rushing seriously, carrying out their mission, disturbing the quiet, deserted street late at night. "Seal off all exits in the area. Don't let them escape. Search every corner. Leave no stone unturned." Inside Yi's apartment, the commotion outside caught his attention. Besides that, there was suddenly a knock on his main door. He turned cautious and confused as to who would be looking for him at this hour. Yi looked towards the door, troubled and puzzled. He guessed, muttering, the original owner's personality was reclusive. He probably doesn't have any friends visiting at this time. I didn't order takeout either, so who could be at the door at this hour? The noise was at the main door, but suddenly the figure of a woman appeared at the window behind Yi. This woman was equipped in a sleek nanosuit that clung perfectly to her statuesque body. Her impressive twin peaks prominent, and her movements were smooth like a robotic war goddess. Yi turned, glared, and said, "Do you know who I am?" "Young miss." Then in a cold tone, the woman outside the window replied, "It seems this little brother is no ordinary mortal." She continued, her voice teasing Yi. "I just intended to hide this thing at your place and conveniently tweak your memory a bit. But since you found out, I'll have to let you little brother taste some pain. Remember not to run away." Yi, hearing these words, remained unfazed, looking at her with disdain. Then he turned away, thinking to himself, "Whatever. I still have quite a bit of savings. I can just buy another house." The woman behind him was a bit confused. "What are you talking about?" Then suddenly turning back, Yi, channeling Bruce Lee, pointed his finger with that historic charisma and declared, "Hear clearly, you're on the scoreboard now." The scene shifted outside to the street below Yi's apartment. A man was fighting against a police team. A representative from the police team charged forward to fight this man. Both clashed violently, displaying their powerful abilities. This masked man faced an entire police squad alone, but showed no fear. A police officer spoke up, having spotted his weakness. "He's exposed an opening." Another officer immediately gave the order, "Get him now." The man began to retreat. He seemed to be in a rather depleted state, smiling but bleeding profusely. One of his eyes was injured, but he still arrogantly retorted to the police as if discussing a plan with someone else. Miao Yimei, you must get away with the golden gene at all costs. Ju Yi will stay here to draw their fire for you." He continued to tense his body and unleash a dazzling burst of energy, his mouth wide open, roaring down the street. "Ha ha ha! If you're so good, come at me. This old man will trade his life for a few of yours, it's worth it." Then he shouted a forbidden technique, "Blood burn." Wait. At Yi's apartment, right at that moment where the woman was perched, a dazzling gorilla-like energy beam shot out. He had barely finished his boast when Ju Yi was startled by a powerful energy beam suddenly shooting down towards him. Ju Yi was petrified, dodging to the side, stammering in fear, "Another enemy!" It shattered the surrounding rocks and earth. After the dust and smoke gradually cleared, the woman from before was revealed. She was bruised and scratched all over her hands on the ground, struggling to get up. Ju Yi recoiled, startled, and shouted, "Hey, demon sister! Where's your ivory-white battlesuit? Why do you look like a roasted chicken now? I risked my life for you to retreat, and you come back looking like a piece of charcoal." Suddenly, as he finished speaking, Miao Yimei's eyes widened, revealing her anxiety. She whispered information into the mic on her headset to Ju Yi. "Ju Yi, I've hidden the item well. We retreat first." Deb. Following this, there was suddenly an explosion right behind the two police officers. This startled them both, and they tried to shield themselves. Noticing a slight movement from a nearby manhole cover, it turned out the two had crawled down there to escape. The scene shifted to an abandoned apartment complex, deserted and desolate. Miao Yimei and Ju Yi had just run there out of breath and stopped. Only then did Yimei begin to speak to her companion more casually. "Finally, we've shaken off those cops." Ju Yi, however, looked up in bewildered admiration at her two speakers, well protected by her battlesuit, and said, "Truly worthy of being a nanosuit." The recent tremors had subsided so quickly. Unexpectedly, Yihei had managed to find them here. Those familiar footsteps slowly approached the two, accompanied by a dangerous tone. "Beauty, you still haven't explained to me why you trespassed into my house like that." Yi. He was like a dangerous phantom. He had found their exact location and was hunting them down. His gaze was fixed, and with his trademark smile, he continued. "You must have realized a very serious problem. You originally intended to randomly pick some lucky neighbor, but who would have thought you'd choose me?" This aura, combined with the darkness of the night, made his words even more chilling. "As a reward for invading my home, I'll gladly play with you." Upon hearing this, realizing he had no good intentions, Chu Yi hastily opened his mouth wide, his eyes glaring straight at him as he shrieked, "How did you find us?" He slowly drew his lips into a wide grin that reached his ears. "I can sense the nuclear radiation on Miao Yimei's body, so it was quite simple to find you both." He didn't answer Chu Yi directly, but lowered his voice. "If you're going to make a move, let's talk." Then Xiong Hu Hung Ho, likely referring to Yihei's power or a specific move, tiger-like strength, gathered his power into his right arm and decisively lunged to attack Chu Yi. Yihe's strike was indeed extremely vicious as he shouted, "I'll use you to test the strength of my demon-subduing physique." Chu Yi, terrified by this pressure, recoiled. He also fully prepared himself to counter Yihei, clasping his hands together and raising them in front of his face to shield himself while fearfully thinking, he's really not holding back at all. Yihe delivered an earth-shattering blow straight at Chu Yi. It was so powerful that even though he raised his hands to block the punch, still pierced through him like a ferocious dragon ravaging his body. The entire area trembled violently and was terribly affected. With just one test punch from Yihei, Chu Yi was completely unable to resist. He was in so much pain he couldn't move his mouth, unconsciously agape as he coughed up a mouthful of red blood. But Yihei wasn't finished. He clenched his remaining left hand, gathering another surge of energy into it. His face was expressionless as he prepared to deliver another blow to Chu Yi. Boom! Chu Yi, who could have been logged out, defeated from the previous hit, was now gifted another one by Yihei. This strike directly slammed his weakened body into the nearby wall. It emitted a powerful shockwave, and his entire body was battered. Yihei, however, merely leaned forward, clenching his fist. Seeing this scene, Miao Yimei was stunned as she witnessed her teammate about to be logged out. Her armor was fully restored, but she was no longer confident. Her face looked up bewildered and filled with fear as she stammered, "Oh my god, this skill is terrifying. Who is your master? What kind of expert is he?" Chu Yi couldn't even move now. He sat slumped, his legs splayed, head bowed. Nearby he stood proudly before the girl, waved a friendly greeting, and replied with a cheerful smile, "Ha ha ha ha, this humble one is the successor of Gorilla." Hearing this, Miao Yimei froze for a few seconds. She felt completely unfamiliar with the name and didn't dare to speak, only thinking to herself, "Gorilla, I've never heard of him. But I never expected such a hidden dragon or crouching tiger in this small Oncheng city." Suddenly, Chu Yi's voice, full of determination, shouted, "Kid, don't get ahead of yourself." This startled Yihei, who turned his head to look. It was followed by the roar of a massive monster. It turned out Chu Yi, like many other martial artists, wasn't someone easily defeated. In a flash, he tensed up, awakening his class power, a large mutated rhinoceros. Behind him was the true form of a completely enraged rhinoceros monster. In his fury and anger from being beaten so badly, he roared, "I am a 6th-rank martial artist, not some martial trash you can easily bully." In response, Chu Yi had to play his strongest card. He stomped his massive rhinoceros foot on the ground and the earth rumbled. Step by step, he thundered towards Yihei to attack. His entire body had completely mutated, with many rhinoceros horns growing from his head down his back. His body radiating immense energy, charged ferociously at Yihei. However, Yihei just stood still, waiting, offering no resistance. Seeing his opponent reveal his strongest form, Yi-hei actually felt more excited and thrilled. He stretched his mouth into an eager grin and cracked his knuckles. "Ha-ha! Now this is more like it!" His eyes then gleamed as he looked up at his opponent. From behind, Yi-hei Miao Yi-mei also lunged to attack him. She had quickly maneuvered her body so he wouldn't easily detect her. As she launched her sneak attack, she chuckled inwardly. "Hey kid, you didn't expect my nano armor to be able to turn invisible, did you? The real assassin here is me." Silently, Yi. He knew everything. He didn't show any signs of worry or fear. Instead, Yi-hei just tilted his head slightly and extended one hand. With a whoosh, Yi-hei shot a beam of nuclear energy, casually saying, "Get out of the way." Just one such blast quickly burned through and damaged her outer nano armor. Miao Yi-mei was sent flying far away, her delicate girlish body slamming straight into the wall behind her. The impact was so strong that rocks flew, and she was nowhere to be seen. It was clear this was a terrifying level of power. Now Miao Yi-mei was truly injured. Seeing all this, Chu Yi was incredibly frustrated. "Miao Yi-mei, you useless trash! You couldn't even succeed with a sneak attack, I still have to do it myself." Saying this, he clenched his fists and lunged to attack Yi-hei. The massive face of the rhinoceros growled with displeasure, completely enraged, as he gathered all his energy determined to finish Yi-hei. However, our protagonist was not one to be easily defeated. He just lightly raised an eyebrow and gave a faint smile, even taunting, "Come on!" Yi-hei then also threw a punch to counter Chu Yi's powerful attack. Both of them engaged in a fierce close-quarters battle, their auras exuding a suffocating pressure. Yi-hei was also surprised by this guy's strength. Initially, he thought he was an easy opponent, but when he felt the enemy's defensive power, he was astonished and blurted out, "His defense increased this much." Seeing the change in Yi's expression, this guy became even more excited. He bared his teeth in a triumphant grin and growled, "Little demon, my ironhide rhino demon's true form can't even be pierced by tank cannons. What do you have to break through my armor?" At that moment, the sharp tip of Chu Yi's largest rhinoceros horn lunged close to Yi's face. He tried to resist and leaned back to avoid its damage. As he finished speaking, a loud explosion rang out. Chu Yi, gaining momentum, attacked Yi-hei, fiercely delivering a continuous barrage of punches while roaring, "Die!" At the abandoned building where Chu Yi and Miao Yi-mei were, a corner of the building was heavily damaged. After launching a relentless assault on Yi-hei, everything seemed to quiet down. Chu Yi also stopped his actions and stood there peering into the cloud of dust and smoke where Yi-hei was. "Little demon, no matter how aggressive you are before my ironhide rhino demon beast, you're just trash." Waiting to see Yi-hei's weakened state, Chu Yi looked around in bewilderment. Where did he go? One of his eyes widened as he searched more carefully for Yi-hei. He was still extremely surprised, not understanding what had happened. His punch just now was clearly very powerful. Then suddenly appearing right before Chu Yi's eyes was the towering figure of a giant titan. Its entire body was like a mountain covered in heavy, sturdy armor. Yi-hei, propping himself up from his knees, stood up. Just that movement made the whole place seem to tremble. Chu Yi, terrified, exclaimed, "What the hell is this?" He couldn't believe it. His mouth unconsciously fell agape and wouldn't close. How could he have expected this? Chu Yi, full of questions, shouted, "Is this a demon beast? Where did it come from? Could it be that kid transformed into it?" Suddenly, the giant hand of Titan Yi, he opened wide and lunged to grab Chu Yi with incredible speed. That damned roar grew louder and louder. Chu Yi, stunned, looked up. Boom! Yi-hei's hand, as large as Buddha's palm, slammed down on the ground. The moment it made contact, it created a powerful shockwave with force radiating all around. However, Chu Yi was very agile and leaped high into the air, quickly dodging to another direction, evading the slam. Yet Yi-hei also shifted his hand's direction, continuing to strike at Chu Yi a second time. His body seemed a bit panicked, his legs trembling. Another slam shook the entire area. All that could be seen was the intense light emitted upon contact with the ground, and Yi-hei's rugged arm smashing straight into the earth. At this moment, his other hand gathered glowing nuclear energy, swinging high, gaining momentum to strike down. Yi-hei's large head hidden in the pitch-black darkness was terrifying. Now returning the favor for what Chu Yi had done to him earlier, he aimed precisely at where Chu Yi lay and delivered a continuous barrage of punches. Imagine that colossal body punching repeatedly without missing a beat. How terrifying would that be? A moment later, Yi-hei's system interface appeared. Host, Yi-hei, state, supergiant transformation. Comprehensive physique, 23.8. 294. His face loomed into view. It was distorted, a fusion of many monsters with only two brightly shining eyes clearly visible, emitting a powerful and terrifying nuclear energy. From a corner, Miao Yi-mei's nano-armor body finally finished regenerating. She struggled to stand up, clutching herself, after taking Yi-hei's blow. By now, she had witnessed Yi-hei transform into a massive titan. That colossal figure was truly someone no one dared to provoke. Only now did she realize she had messed with the wrong person. In her extreme anxiety, she unconsciously mumbled, I'm so foolish. Why did I provoke this monster? Then regaining her composure, she began to calculate an escape plan for both of them. Glancing around to assess the situation, Miao Yimei muttered to herself, if this continues, Chu Yi will be beaten to death. We can't escape. The only way is to risk it all. Spotting a safe and suitable place for a sneak attack on Yihei, Miao Yimei quickly flew to the roof of a building. She pulled out a glowing colored wire, aiming from the rooftop, planning to ambush him. Immediately after, without hesitation, Miao Yimei dove from the tall building's roof like a bird. Her body, protected only by the nano layer, flew as fast as a rocket. As she flew, she held the strange wire in her mouth, focusing and aiming straight at Yihei. At this moment, the wire grew longer and longer. When Yihei transformed into his giant form, his movements became very slow. Compared to his smaller body, she easily wrapped the wire tightly around the Titan's neck. After circling many times and successfully coiling it around the Titan's neck, she screamed, "This is a molecular wire extracted from the nanosuit, strong enough to cut high-grade alloy. Even if you transformed into a giant through gene tech, the weaknesses of the human body remain unchanged." And indeed, that tiny wire cleanly and effortlessly severed Yihei's head. Just like that, Yihei's head fell from high above, leaving behind the massive frame. At the same time, Miao Yimei landed skillfully and coolly on the ground, right in front of the Titan, her expression ice-cold. Then the Titan Yihei's large head fell right in front of Miao Yimei. She turned to look and forcefully pulled her molecular whip back. The Titan's outer body also withered, no longer energized as before. Thinking it was all over, Miao Yimei let out a long sigh and wondered, Did I succeed? It felt as if she had just shed a 1,000-pound burden. Just as she thought she was about to go home, to her surprise, the Titan's mouth opened wide. Inside was a familiar surge of nuclear energy, this time as large as the giant mouth itself. It glowed brilliantly, shining directly at Miao Yimei's curvaceous body. This made her jump back in shock. Knowing she was about to never see the light of day again, Miao Yimei was terrified, breaking out in a cold sweat, her whole body trembling so violently she couldn't even speak. Monster. From a distance, a building could be seen with a large hole blown through it by the nuclear beam from Yihei's large mouth. It shot towards Miao Yimei and pierced right through. One had to wonder if she could have survived that. The last image in Miao Yimei's memory was an endless, brilliant green. After this happened, all that remained was a thick cloud of black dust and smoke obscuring everything, accompanied by lingering electrical sparks from Titan Yihei's large mouth. Stepping out after ensuring he had dealt with these two troublemakers, Yihei had returned to his original form just moments ago, so he was still steaming. He then approached Chu Yi's tattered body, which looked like a doormat. He was actually still alive, able to cough. Cough, cough. Yihei stood before him, hands on hips, looking at him for a moment. Then, his eyes devoid of any pity, looked down coldly as he lowered his voice. Now it's your turn. Hearing Yihei's voice, Chu Yi, still somewhat conscious, slowly lifted his head. You monster. Even though he was very weak, he still tried to say a few words. His head was covered in blood like fresh tomato juice. Yet Yihei was like a terrifying nightmare. In the darkness, only his frighteningly glowing eyes could be seen. Those who kill must be prepared to be killed. It's only fair. Chu Yi bowed his head before Yihei, now only able to wait for him to strike. At this moment, outside on the main road, many police car lights appeared, their sirens wailing. Now, as if accepting his death, Chu Yi clenched his eyes shut and said, "Haha, if I have to die, I'll drag you down with me. That Miao Yimei girl you just killed hid something called the golden gene in your room. It's yours now." Then suddenly he opened his eyes wide, his face gradually becoming deranged and dangerous like a demon. His mouth roared with triumph. "Eventually you will face relentless pursuit. Run, haha, I'll be waiting for you in hell." This only annoyed Yihei further. He dared to talk tough in front of him even at this point, so he kicked him straight in the head, crushing it. "Chattering monkey." Chu Yi couldn't say anything more. Blood splattered everywhere as he fell to the ground. Yihei seemed to notice that the police had caught wind of the situation. He glanced into the distance and smirked, muttering, "The police are here. Got to dispose of the bodies quickly." In the middle of this deserted building there was an unusual gaping hole, clearly indicating who caused it. Yihei felt a bit annoyed and exclaimed, "This time I overdid it a bit." Changing scenes back to Yihei's apartment, he went into his room and sat right on his comfortable bed. He immediately pulled out his phone and texted to inquire about the situation. "Aunt Chin, how's the police investigation going?" The person on the phone quickly replied, "It's all fine, but Yihei things have been very unstable lately. You should lay low until the Huadu enrollment day." Yihei earnestly replied immediately, "Auntie, don't worry, I'm usually a good kid." His aunt seemed to unconsciously believe him. Good. It seemed a bit of trouble was alleviated. Yihei stood up and sighed in relief, tossing his phone onto the bed. Luckily, Aunt Chin helped out beforehand, otherwise if the police traced my characteristic nuclear blast, I'd be done for. Indeed, Miao Yimei had hidden the gene tube in Yihei's room. He held it in his hand, looking at it strangely. So this is the golden gene. Those two mentioned. Looking closely, there was a special logo on it, a large winged creature. He said, "From the Prometheus files of the Huadu City people, I've seen this symbol of the Thunder Condor Biotech Corporation." Thinking about the two from earlier, Yihei finally understood their intention in hiding this thing in his room. So those two stole this thing and were being hunted while on the run. Recalling Chu Yi's vicious expression earlier, Yihei quickly pieced things together. He meant to frame me. Then looking at the hole in his wall caused by his nuclear energy, Yihei felt uneasy. Moreover, he had this special item in his hand. After thinking for a moment, he considered I should probably move. I'll stay at a hotel for tonight.